Welcome to Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. This is your favorite Sunday morning TV show where we bring you relevant conversations, exciting interviews, and of course, sometimes heated sports discussion towards the end of the show. Of course, we'll also delve into your communities to bring you some of the big issues confronting you, our lovely viewers, on a daily basis. Yes, we do tell your stories right here on Sunday Breakfast. Again, my name is Jude Duncan. Welcome to Sunday Breakfast. We'll start off by saying a big thank you to all our lovely patrons and exhibitors and everybody who just, wished us well, basically, during the Agri-Fair, food and Agri-Tech exhibition that happened at the Ifwa Sutherland Children's Park exactly a week ago. It was a 3-day event, and your support made it really happen, right? So we want to say a big thank you to our sponsors. We want to say a big thank you to exhibitors. We want to say a big thank you to patrons and some government officials who passed through. I saw Jakpa, Charlie. Jakpa came through with his military vehicle, and they were doing some shopping. We also saw the presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy, Gusitano, show a lot of support. He came in there, he endorsed the event, and also called for greater partnership between, government and the private sector, particularly those in agri-tech. We want to say a big thank you to government through the presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy for making this really happen. And of course, all our lovely sponsors. So Ghana Exim Bank, the Development Bank Ghana, Gersal, Legacy Crop Improvement Center. There was also Twillium, who came on board as a partner. And of course, Agri Impact Limited for the incredible show of support. So we want to say a big thank you to all of them. And of course, IDH was also part of this whole process of bringing, a lot of bringing the community together, right? We've always said that it wasn't necessarily about just getting vendors to sell at cheaper prices and also getting, patrons to come and shop for the festive period. We here believe strongly that patronizing made in Ghana, especially farm produce, has a way it significantly impacts our economy. And want to say a big thank you to the sponsors for supporting the vision and believing in it, in the first place. So a big thank you to all who were able to join us. And if you made some good sales that day, to your credit. It's also important to remind you that the Situation All White Party is happening. It's the biggest party, you can say, for the festive period as we head into December with all its energy and glamour. So, right, the Situation All White Party is the official Christmas party, or you can say it shuts down the Christmas period. So after this, then you are free to do everything you want to do. And it's happening at the Good Park near the Accra Mall off the Spintex Road. Later on the show, we'll be delving a lot more into what to expect at the Situation All White Party. Can I come with my friends? Can I come alone? How much do I have to pay? What would involve a table? All of that and more will be coming out on the show today. So if you're interested in it, you want to wind down after what's been a very difficult year, the Situation All White Party is exactly the place to do so. And I'll be bringing you all the lowdown on that. So just by way of information, we'll be having a very, very exciting conversation on the Situation All White Party later today on Sunday Breakfast. With me, Jude Duncan, and David Kwekusechi will be joining me for that conversation. It's now time for us to delve into the big headline stories, right? So all this week, it's been a very intense news week. Of course, we followed very keenly issues around the arrest of a private legal practitioner that generated some public furore, and I'm referring to lawyer Martin Kpebu, and his arrest by the special prosecutor. We also followed keenly issues around the WASI results and how, for the first time in a long time, or you can say, comparatively to previous years, there was a significant drop in terms of results performance in the core maths and social studies. A lot of people feel social studies is like pretty much, an easy subject, right? So why they feel, of course, GS would bring that bombshell of a getting it right sets of facts, and of course, it didn't go down well with the previous government. We saw the back and forth with regards to, comparison on the. Of course, the World Cup draws will happen all the way in the USA, where Ghana has been paired with England, Croatia, and Panama. So that promises to be very, very exciting as well for the 2026 World Cup. And many other stories. Of course, the presidency on Friday, which was a holiday, also honored farmers. Abraham Eduse, who owns, I don't know the word to describe the kind of farm he has, but basically everything you need, is basically on his farms, from livestock to farm produce. And, he was adjudged National Best Farmer at the 41st National Farmers Day event, which took place at Ho in the Volta region. Guess what? He's 82, but he's still going in very strong. So all of those and more in Parliament, to conversations around the procurement of the presidential jets became very topical after Parliament agreed to the procurement of military helicopters and a presidential jet. The president, as we know, currently is in Doha in Qatar for a high-level summit, and he's there together with other high-level government officials, including the Foreign Affairs Minister, some members of Parliament, and other aides at the presidency. So we'll try and bring you all of the lowdown on that particular visit and more. But I'll take you straight to citynewsroom.com, where the big stories have all been captured very well for your consumption. Again, I want to remind viewers that the Channel One News app is also live. So if you are looking for your one-stop center for everything news related, everything video news related, everything public service announcements related, for example, we know that the Ofankon-Sawon stretch in parts have been closed down to traffic. If you didn't know this, Channel One News app is where you can be getting all of those timely information. So go onto the Google Play Store, click on the install button, download it, and you're pretty much good to go. So guys, please share the word out there on the Channel One News app for us. Great. The citynewsroom.com is reporting that Akusi crash kills 2 female prison officers, 2 others injured. That's some tragic story coming in from Akusi. Moving on, Gawu backs Mohammed's buy local policy, calls for public oversight. Some other stories here. In Amenfi West, farmers adopt tree planting to save cocoa yields. Moving on, in the Bono region, remove speed ramps on Atebubu Kajaji Road. Drivers are calling on government. In the anti-corruption space, Edem Senanu, who is a member of the anti-corruption coalition, is calling, says that calls to abolish the office of the special prosecutor is troubling. And this is in relation to some comments in Parliament by the majority and the minority on the possible scrapping of the office of the special prosecutor. GISEU deepen security partnerships to strengthen Ghana's northern borders. Also here, IGP lead show of force with new armored vehicles. Ghana unveils $20 billion plan to strengthen climate adaptation. Some other story here, CDD Ghana, politicians oppose OSP to control prosecutions. I won't present corruption evidence to OSP subordinates. Martin Kpebu, he was yesterday on the Big Issue show with Selom Adonu. Moving on, 2026 World Cup, we will use diplomatic ties to boost Ghanaian support. That's coming in from Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. The former General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God Church, Ghana, Professor Frimpong Manson, is in the news, and he says, fight Galamsey from pulpit, classroom, and home. Some other story here, UPSA honors late Nana Kunedo Ajiman Rollins with posthumous doctorate. And these are the big stories on citynewsroom.com. I'll move on to channel1news.com, channel1newsonline.com. And the big story here, scholarship saga, former registrar Kingsley Ajiman left £35 million debt. That's coming in from Madam Zita Benson, Her Excellency, Ghana's Foreign Affairs, or Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK. Ghana's approach to education is flawed. One Ghana movement convener, Senyo Hosi there. He was yesterday on the Big Issue show with Selom Adonu. And still with Senyo Hosi, he says education gaps creating weak workforce. Moving on, another person who was on the Big Issue show with Selom Adonu yesterday is MPP legal team member Enoch Afuakwa, and he says Ghana needs independent education commission for bold reforms. Interesting thoughts there by Enoch Afuakwa. And on the calls for the removal of the special prosecutor, Martin Pebu, who is at the center of all the ongoing, talk and controversy, if you want to say, yesterday again on the Big Issue said that he will petition Mahama next week on further evidence against some petitions against the removal of the special prosecutor, Kisi Ejabin. Inusa Fuseni, Kpebu's manhandling by OSP unjustified. Also here, Kpebu dares Kisi Ejabin to sue over corruption claims. CDD Ghana scrapping OSP threatens democracy and accountability. Moving on, OSP crucial for Ghana's anti-corruption fight. That's from Senyo Hosi. Parents contribute to WASI cheating culture. CDD Ghana's Kojo Pumpuni Asante yesterday also on the Big Issue show made these remarks. 2025 WASI education system needs comprehensive review. Franklin Kujo there. Probe 2025 WASI declined. Franklin Kujo, who is Imani Africa's president, to government. And like I mentioned earlier to you, Mahama in Qatar for Doha Forum. Channel 1 News Online also has the story on the 2 female prison officers killed in the Akuse accident. And Kofi Bento, who is vice president of Imani Africa, has said the OSP is becoming lawless. Faith and belief hindering HIV fight in Biokum West. The health directorate coming in with that one. The Zabzugo Agric officer has said resource agric departments or programs will fail, as he tells government. Irrigation processing facilities crucial for agri growth. 2025 Ashanti Regional Best Farmer has been speaking. And 2 dead, 13 injured in Enyinam Enyiresi head-on collision. And still in relation to the Farmers' Day celebration on Friday, the Mampong Hima has told or called on governments to establish a carrot processing factory in Mampong. Let me move on to the graphiconline.com. They have the story on President Mahama's arrival in Qatar for the 2025 Doha Forum. Some other stories here. U.S. jails Nigerian fraud mastermind for 20 years over nationwide bank scam. So U.S. jails Nigerian fraud mastermind for 20 years over nationwide bank scam. Some other stories here. PIAC engages market women to explain oil-funded projects. 1 killed, 27 arrested in Tamale police operation. The Ghana Medical Association calls for improved social amenities in underserved areas to attract doctors. Coach Otto Addo and Asamoah's immediate reaction after Ghana went into Group L with England, Croatia, and Panama. They were the draw that took place, the World Cup draw that took place in Washington, and they have some behind the scenes on how some of the members of Ghana's contingent reacted when the countries in the group were named. And the Interior Minister has also been speaking. He says, "Stop now or we'll track you." Interior Minister warns online fear mongers. The news center has some other big stories I want to quickly bring to you before we wrap up the news review. They have the story on the police operation in Tamale, where one was dead or left one dead and 27 arrested. Evangelist Edward Akwesi says, "My wife divorced when I became poor." On the presidential jet, apologized to Nanado. The defense committee chair in Tim Fordjour tells NDC. Accident claims 3 lives and 6 injured on Bando Road. Has HIV awareness in Ghana faded? And with it, the fear. There's an interesting article by the editor of the News Center Elvis Darko on the newscenteronline.com. Then Elvis Darko, formerly at the Finder newspaper, now runs the News Center. He's on Breakfast Daily with Nana Tufo every Monday at 7 a.m. to delve into the big news headlines. So that's it by way of information. Moving on to some other stories as being reported by the newscenter.com. Parliament approves Ghana-Qatar labor deal. And finally here, we won't allow you to scrap OSP. Senyo Hosi warns Parliament. And these are the big stories on the newscenter.com. So it's now a good time for me to delve into some of the big headline stories. And of course, we'll start with a rather tragic and unfortunate one. Yesterday, we spoke about a similar accident on the Enyinam-Enyiresi Road, where we called on motorists to be very cautious and very adherent to road safety rules as we approach the festive season, because we know some of the things that happen during this time, right? So again, we want to urge, please be mindful, please be respectful of other drivers and other road users, the pedestrians, the motorcyclists, right? Because, you know, if you're in your vehicle, you don't own the road. You know, it's a shared kind of property. It's for the state. So the least you can do is to be very careful and to be very mindful. Look out before that turn. You know, adhere to strict, proper driving etiquette, and I'm sure we'll all be better for it. If you have to leave or if you have to get to a certain location at a particular time, please do leave early. The alternative is not speeding on the road, right? So that we don't have to come back to some of these stories. And our condolences to the families of the two prison officers who have been killed in a road accident. So excerpts of the story, the big headline on citynewsroom.com: Akuse crash kills 2 female prison officers, 2 others injured. Story by Neil Ni Kanaku, who was our Eastern Regional Bureau Chief for City News and Channel 1 News. So the Akuse District Police Command has launched investigations into circumstances surrounding the tragic deaths of 2 female prison officers following a road accident early Saturday, December 6, 2025. The crash occurred between the Akuse Junction and the VRA Junction within the Akuse Township. Details of how the incident occurred, however, may remain unclear. The story goes on to say 2 male prison officers who were also in the vehicle, a Toyota Corolla with registration number GS 481717, sustained multiple fractures. They were initially taken to the Akuse Government Hospital, but were later referred to the St. Joseph Hospital in Koforidua due to the severity of their injuries. City News sources indicate that the devastating news has plunged personnel at the Akuse local prison in the Lower Manya Krobo municipality into deep shock and grief. While colleagues mourn the 2 officers who lost their lives, many are also praying for the recovery of those still receiving treatment in Koforidua. So very, very heartbreaking indeed, and want to wish the families of the 2 police officers our sincere condolences during this really, really difficult time. You know, it can be tough. Yesterday on social media, videos of the funeral of one of the prospective or the military applicants, one of the ladies who was killed during the stampede at the Ghana Forces recruitment exercise in Burma camp. The funeral was held, and really, really painful scenes, right? And we've said that we do not have to go through that again as a people or as a nation. And when service members or law enforcement lose their lives under such circumstances, it can be a very difficult moment really for the family and the entire nation, because these people put their lives in harm's way all the time for our sake. And we hope that the family will be given all the support they need during this really, really difficult time. And to the injured, we are hoping and praying for a speedy recovery for them. And that's it on citynewsroom.com. Moving on to some other stories as being reported on citynewsroom.com. I wanted to bring the story of President Mahama in Doha for the for the Doha Forum, right? I'll get it and share with you pretty shortly. But the GAU, that's the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, they are supporting President Mahama's call during the 41st National Farmers' Day celebrations on the need for Ghanaians to patronize buy local policy. And they've also been calling for public oversight. Now, this is why we at Channel One TV believe this so strongly, and it led to the creation of events like the This Is Ghana Fair. It led to the creation of events like the Back to Your Village Food Festival, because we believe in the potential of the local farmer. We believe in the potential of that business within the local food or agricultural value chain. So it's great seeing institutions or associations like the General Agricultural Workers Union, jump on this bandwagon, because we maintain very strongly that our economy needs a structural shift from what has been an economy that has been largely import dependent. At a point in this nation's history, we had cause to complain about the fact that very simple items like toothpicks were being imported, right? And we've said that if we want to see the progress we've been yearning for, and to break the cycle of a 17th or a possible 18th IMF, appearance, we need to buy our own. We need to grow our own. We need to be able to produce to meet the needs of us, or our needs as a people. And this is why we've really pushed ideas like the This Is Ghana Fair, like the Agri Fair, like the Back to Your Village Food Festival, and many other events you see us do right here at Channel One TV and City FM. So, brief excerpts of the story still on citynewsroom.com. The General Secretary of the General Agricultural Workers Union, GAU Andrews Adokwe Tego, has called on Ghanaians to actively monitor President John Dramani Mahama's directive requiring all basic and senior high schools to purchase locally produced rice, maize, chicken, and eggs. Speaking on Channel One Newsroom on Saturday, December 6th, Mr. Tego said the compliance with the directive must be closely tracked, adding that GAU has tasked members to oversee its implementation. He commended President Mahama for the initiative, noting that it would reduce compliance on imported food and conserve foreign exchange, while also addressing the health and economic risks associated with the excessive imports. According to Mr. Tego, the directive extends beyond the schools to other government-funded institutions, including the school feeding program, the Ghana Prison Service, the Ghana Police Service, and other state-supported programs that procure food with public funds. The story goes on to say that he emphasized the importance of public participation in monitoring the policy, which aligns with GAU's long-standing advocacy for the consumption of made-in-Ghana foods. So these are the big story, and we hope that government will be minded to share with us. Sometimes they wait for us to get information before they want to, open up, right? But government will need to also lead this charge. As we in the media push and urge for those to, or for the public to engage in, supporting local industry, supporting local farmers, government will also have a role to play. And their role they have to play is also providing the necessary investments, right? And also the little push, the little incentives for local farmers. And we saw that government held a really spectacular celebration for the Independence Farmers Day. Of course, it came with its own, on social media, some persons weren't excited with, what they saw to be a lack of attention by other government officials within the sector who traveled when they expected them to be at the Farmers' Day, but that's a whole different conversation. But the point is that government needs to incentivize farmers. Government needs to show a lot more commitment towards the cause of farmers. And it started quite well with the whole pricing for cocoa. We've now seen that government has quite handsomely also rewarded farmers who've done exceptionally well as part of the Farmers' Day celebration. So we want to see more. We want to see more. I think other farmers too are calling for lower taxes and an enhanced galamsey fight, which many believe is destroying their farms. It's very critical to their business. So we hope that Mr. Government is minded on those issues as well. But let me take you to the channel1news.com. I'll be bringing you stories from Senor Hosi pretty shortly, but the scholarship secretariat has been under fire recently for issues around the non-payment of scholarship grants and also issues around delayed payment and a whole lot of other issues. Ghana's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Zita Benson, is in the news, and she said that former Registrar Kingsley Agyeman, who, by the way, is now Member of Parliament for Boakwa South, said, or left rather, a £35 million debt. The excerpts of the story with Ghana's High Commissioner for the United Kingdom, Zita Benson, has refuted claims by former Registrar of the Scholarship Secretariat, Kingsley Agyeman, that no student was ever stranded abroad during his tenure, despite the Secretariat's inherited debt. Mr. Agyeman had earlier dismissed allegations that the accumulated £32 million liability, describing the claims as misleading and politically motivated. He maintained that he inherited a debt of about 230 million Ghana cedis, but ensured all scholarship beneficiaries remained in school. However, in a sharp rebuttal on Facebook, Zita Benson asserted that the former registrar left a £35 million debt, a burden she says continues to create hardship for the Ghanaian students in the UK. She disclosed that while £3 million of the outstanding amount has been settled, many institutions remain unpaid, with some arrears dating as far back as 2021. According to her, these figures reflect a consistent accumulation of arrears over 5 years. And not so good news for students in the UK who are seeking further education abroad. Yes, so there's a story of President Mahama in Qatar for the Doha Forum. Still on channel1newsonline.com. President John Dramani Mahama arrived in Doha on Saturday morning, December 6th, ahead of its participation in the Doha Forum, where he is set to make 2 significant contributions. He is scheduled to deliver the opening remarks on education as justice in times of crisis and take part in a panel discussion on economic empowerment in Africa, pathways to inclusive prosperity. During his visit, President Mahama would also hold bilateral talks with His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar. The president traveled aboard a Qatar Airways executive jet provided by the state of Qatar and is expected to return on Sunday, December 7. The Doha Forum, held annually since 2003 under the theme Diplomacy, Dialogue and Diversity, serves as a global platform for policymakers and leaders to discuss pressing international challenges and foster innovative, action-oriented solutions. So these are the big stories on channel1newsonline.com. Maybe I should just bring you some other stories on, following the release of the 2025 WASSI results. So many issues became topical. Now, a survey was conducted among teachers in senior high schools, trying to solicit views as to why the results, particularly in core maths and English language to an extent, and also particularly social studies, didn't turn out too well. Now, according to, the country's foremost education researcher, Kofi Asare, who runs the Africa Education Watch, issues around the excessive use of phones and internet, social media, was in the news. Poor preparation came up as part of the top 4 reasons. Difficult questions, was also seen in there. And I think largely issues around poor preparation. So that has generated significant public talk because, of course, education is crucial, especially at this point in time of our lives as a nation. So it's got a lot of people talking as to what could have been the reason. We saw that statement from GS also accuse the former government of engaging in practices that directly impugns on the integrity of the WASSCE exam. Of course, that didn't go down well with the previous handlers in the education sector. Some of them took to other media channels and media platforms to respond directly to the GES, the Ghana Education Service statement that was signed by the Public Relations Officer, Daniel Fenyi. But let me just bring you some viewpoints from Senyo Hosi, who, by the way, some years ago came under intense public, criticisms over his comments around the job readiness or market readiness of some University of Ghana students. According to him, some couldn't even engage in very basic, tasks, in terms of like Word, Microsoft Word use, Excel use. Of course, a lot of people had opinions on that. So, I just want to properly situate why Senyo Hosi's views on this, the context and why he's taking this quite seriously, in terms of the issues at hand. And so Senyo Hosi, he on the big issue again yesterday said that Ghana's approach to education is flawed. Of course, on the panel, that included Kofi Asare, Enoka Fuakwa, who is an NPP legal team member. Senyo Hosi was on the panel. The CDD Ghana's research director, Dr. Kojo Asante, Pumpuni Asante, was also on the panel. Franklin Kujo, Imani Africa, was also on the panel. He's been doing a lot of work in interrogating and perusing, successive government policy on education. He's done, as a group, Imani has also done extensive work with regards to researching into the much touted free SHS policy. So they had quite some interesting views on the 2025 WASSCE results and what should be the proper approach by government in terms of education and funding for free SHS. Of course, we heard the president speak on this matter earlier in the week, where he said that the over-excessive commitment of resources to free SHS matched to the neglect of basic education is what has resulted in the poor WASSCE performances. Of course, not everybody disagrees, with the president. Others have shared different opinions, and there's a lot going on. So I'll just read excerpts of Senyo Hosi's story, then we can probably end the news review discussion here. So according to the One Ghana movement convener, Senyo Hosi, the big headline story is Ghana's approach to education is flawed. Senyo Hosi, convener of the One Ghana movement, says Ghana has not treated education with the seriousness it deserves, warning that the country risks falling behind in an increasingly competitive global environment. He argued that the national discussions often reduce education to political point scoring rather than focusing on deliberate long-term policies needed to secure the future of Ghanaian children. Core mathematics recorded the steepest decline in the 2025 WASSCE, with the A1 to C6 passes dropping from 305,000 in 2024 to 209,000 in 2025, a fall of more than 96,000. The overall pass rate stood at 48.73%, leaving more than half of candidates below the grades required for tertiary education. Nearly 1 in 4 candidates failed both core maths and social studies, heightening concerns about university eligibility. Speaking on the Big Issue show on Channel 1 TV on Saturday, Mr. Hosi said Ghana lacks a clear and sustained strategy to prepare students for global competition over the next decade. And these are the views of Senyo Hosi. He goes on to say, education gaps creating weak workforce. Senyo Hosi again on the Big Issue show. So the convener of One Ghana movement, Senyo Hosi, raised alarm over the declining quality of Ghana's workforce, linking the issue directly to gaps in the nation's education sector. According to Senyo Hosi, insufficient attention is being paid to the underlying factors that contribute to poor performance, particularly at the tertiary level where skills of the future workforce are shaped. He goes on to say, his comments follows the steep WASSCE decline in recent years. We know the background, but this is direct quote. There is a bigger problem we are not monitoring when it comes to poor performance, and that can be found in the universities. Who is monitoring at all? or who is monitoring all that? I have 100 people under my belt as a workforce. We are seeking to be more productive so that we can get to 1,000 workforce. But I am telling you that the quality of our human resources is very low, and it stems from education, and there's no deliberate policy to correct it. So clearly, Senor Osi is not happy. He, aside running One Ghana movement, he also has done some work within the oil sector. He used to run Seaboard, which was like the board, bulk oil distributors, a chamber. He was CEO for that. And also, he has, he's an entrepreneur. We know that he's also into, I think, rice farming and all of that. So he has been raising this issue for quite some time now. And of course, it's got a lot of people to join in the conversation on the WASSCE result. I'd want to still stay on the WASSCE results because, like I said, it's generated some kind of public uproar. Is it as a result of government's handling of the sector, or the previous government, inactions or actions caused, an unjustified increase or better performance? And this is what has become of the conversation. It's generated into a very, very intense debate, even though generally you get the sense that a lot of the experts and analysts within the space say, see, we need proper reforms for education because we need a workforce that is ready for the job market. Everyone else is taking education serious. We can't continue to politicize some of these issues, and these are viewpoints I completely and entirely agree with. But I want to share with you what Franklin Cudjoe and I would also add CDD Ghana have been saying. So Franklin Cudjoe, he said that education system needs a comprehensive review. Again, Franklin Cudjoe is Imani Africa president, and these are his excerpts of the story as reported on Channel 1 News Online.com. President of Imani Africa, Franklin Cudjoe, has urged a comprehensive review of Ghana's education system following the significant drop in performance in the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate examination, particularly in core maths and social studies. Speaking in an interview with Seloma Donu on Saturday on Channel 1 TV's The Big Issue show, Mr. Cudjoe stressed that the country needs a serious introspection of its education system. He highlighted challenges such as students' lack of understanding of exam content, a shortage of qualified teachers, and limited time for exam preparation. Mr. Cudjoe called for a holistic or a 360 look at the entire education sector, noting that the frequent changes in the ministers have contributed to instability in policy and implementation. And let me bring you very briefly and finally on what CDD Ghana's Dr. Kojo Asante has also said on the matter. So Director for Policy and Advocacy Engagement at CDD Ghana, Dr. Kojo Asante, has warned that the growing involvement of parents in examination malpractice has become one of the biggest threats to the integrity of the West African Senior High School Certificate examination. Speaking on Channel 1 TV's The Big Issue show on Saturday, he described the situation as an epidemic that has escalated beyond isolated incidents and is now deeply entrenched in many communities. Dr. Asante explained that parents, often working through school authorities or local networks, actively facilitate schemes to allow parents to cheat during examination. This practice has created a dangerous culture where students believe they do not need to prepare adequately because external help will always be available. And that's the quote attributed to Dr. Kojo Asante. He noted that this expectation has fueled widespread reliance on leaked questions and cheating systems, weakening genuine academic efforts among candidates. So clearly, around the table yesterday on The Big Issue, not many were optimistic on the current approach with regards to how education in this country is being managed. I would end my news review with a comment by Martin Pebu, who also was on The Big Issue show yesterday. And this is in relation with the ongoing controversy surrounding the office of the Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ejabin. And Martin Pebu says, I'll petition Mahama next week and that's coming in from Martin Kpebu. So private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu has revealed he intends to submit a petition to President John Dramani Mahama in the coming week seeking the removal of the special prosecutor Kisi Ejabin from office. Martin Kpebu made a disclosure on Channel 1 TV's The Big Issue show on Saturday, December 6th. He was detained on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 at the office of the special prosecutor following a confrontation with officers at the entrance of the headquarters. The detention occurred before investigators could begin questioning him regarding corruption allegations he made against the special prosecutor. Kpebu was later released. Now this is quote. He says, "I will present my petition in the coming week. You need to show it. You need to show it to a few people, get inputs and documents," he said. Kpebu has publicly accused the special prosecutor of corruption and abuse of office. His planned petition follows his earlier calls for the dismissal of Mr. Ajabin and 2 senior OSP officials at the office, filed charges against the former finance minister Ken Ofori-Atta and others over controversial revenue assurance contracts between the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML. So this week, or in the previous week, we also learned from the Office of the Government Communications Ministry, and of course being run by Member of Parliament for Asebu Kwaman Kese, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, that 7 petitions have been brought to the presidency in relation to the removal of the EC chair, Madam Jean Mensah, and the special prosecutor Kisi Ejabin. Now, according to the Government Communications Minister Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, all of those petitions have been forwarded to the Chief Justice for onward review, and of course, when necessary, the processes begin on whether or not they've indeed abused the office or guilty of anything being raised in the petition. And on that note, we'll bring an end to the news review segment. If you missed any of these big stories, you could still log on to citynewsroom.com, channel1newsonline.com, and get all the big story. But for now, we'll bring you a ministration by Che Mensah on Sunday breakfast right here at Channel 1 TV.
Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, early in the morning our song shall rise to thee. Holy, 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 Lord merciful and mighty, God in 3 persons, blessed Trinity. Oh, holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, early in the morning our song shall rise to thee. You are holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in 3 persons, blessed Trinity. Yeah. God in 3 persons, blessed Trinity. Me free Malcolm, Sheni yawayache SSMI Dawasiota Unsanu nyuma yewawache SSMI Dawasiota Oh Midawasio da midawasio da mi frima kumem Sheni yawayache SSMI Dawasio da Musanu nyuma Yewawache SSMI Dawasio da Midawasio Midawasio da oh midawasio da you are light. You shine through the darkest parts of me. Yes, you do, Lord, love of my life. Your love is unconditional and never changes. Yeah. You are my world, Jesus. All I'll ever need is found in you. Only you. You are a healer. Yeah. There's no infirmity greater than you. Greater than you. You are almighty, all powerful, great God. Yes, you are. You are almighty, all powerful, great God. Yes, you are. You are almighty, all powerful, great God. Oh, you are almighty, all powerful. You're the great God. You're the great God. Yes, you are. You're a great God. We worship you today. You're a great God. You're a great God. That's who you are. You're a great God. You're a great God. Oh, hey, crow, 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 crow. Yeshirawo, Safu Yehowa, oh yeah, crow, crow, oh yeah, crow, oh, crow, crow, Yeshirawo, Asafu Yehowa, oh yeah, crow. Booyah crow, crow, crow. Yehovah, yeah, crow, crow. You honor me, crow, crow. I hold till fall and need a door. No, yeah, crow, crow. Yehovah, yeah, crow, crow. You honor me, crow, crow. I hold till fall and need a door. No, yeah, crow, crow. I hold till fall and need a door. No, yeah, crow, crow. I hold till fall. I hold till fall and need a door. No, yeah, crow, crow. 'Cause I call you Jireh, you're my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my banner. I call you Rapha, you are my healer. Yeah. Lord, you're my everything. I call you Jireh, you're my provider. I call you Nisi, you are my banner. I call you Rapha, you are my healer. Lord, you're my everything. Oh, Lord, you're my everything. Oh, Lord, you're my everything. Oh, Lord, you're my everything. Everything. Lord, you are everything to me. Everything, everything, Lord, you are everything to me. My treasure, my priority. Who can compare to you? Great is the measure of your royalty, O morning star, you truly are. What they were more channel now. I told me I'm what they see. You're anywhere, but to me, a DSC. Eratier, untampaina sina metinada. Bunyuna sina metinada. Bunima hintamia mire entifa misie. Buntabanase, oh Jesus, entifa misie. Buntabanase, Eratier, Buntabaina sina metinada. Bunyuna sina metinada. Oh, bunima kintabia. Entifa misie. Buntabanase. I want Jesus and see I miss you. Won't sabana say tomorrow yami tomorrow atum bintina mtiasi make you want to tina me no the essence of my praise centered on your grace. I do, Lord, the essence of my praise is centered on your grace. I do. See me done more, me done more, yes, me done more, yeah, me done more, me done more, yes, me done more, hey, some inside, yes, way, some inside, yes, way, some inside. Free say yes, soon, yamia, oh, you're wow, when be around soon, yeah. No, casa, I didn't yet be around soon, yeah. Oti a chance and if I so redeem again and see and surroshi. Yes, soon yamia, yo, when be around soon, yeah. Oh, yo, Magic Kwame Shiano, oh, you're wow, oh, you're hey, Magic Kwame Shiano, oh, you're wow, oh, you're wow, yeah. Oh, you're wow, oh, you're
Mommy, good morning.
Hello. Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aim to serve a peculiar health need.
Meet James. James has been searching for happiness for years. So we asked locals to point him to the source of their happiness. Until one fateful night, when his search finally came to an abrupt end. Find your happy place with GoTV. Get GoTV to enjoy a wide range of shows for the whole family. GoTV. Love it.
Behind every closed door, a secret is waiting to explode.
Always been regarded as a useful and a sound party person. So I gather there's a fair chance of me making the office, provided we don't get into trouble. So don't start any trouble with the police.
Detective Calls, an intriguing stage play brought to life on television, where every clue matters and every character is a potential suspect.
About 2 hours ago, a young woman died at the police hospital.
This will take only the service of a fierce and yielding and sharp as steel detective to uncover the truth behind this web of lies and betrayal.
And so, you used the power you had as the daughter of a good customer and also that of a powerful, politically connected man in the town to punish the girl. Why didn't you come to me when you realized you were in such a mess?
Because you are not the kind of father a chap could come to when they are in trouble, that's why.
Hey, don't
Role from Image Bureau Productions. Detective Calls, coming soon on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. You just saw the Che music, minister to us. Amazing, amazing guy. Earlier on, I brought you the news review segment. It's now time for our health conversations. And if you've been following the show for the past 3 weeks, Dr. Anigezi, who is a behavioral hypnotherapist, has been joining us on the show to talk to us, around some very important issues. Last week, we dealt with toxic relationships, right? How to spot them, how to avoid them, and if you're in one, how to manage yourself out of such circumstances. Of course, big conversation. We couldn't exhaust all of it, and we would want to continue from where we left off last week. It's an absolute honor to have Dr. Gezi join us via Zoom virtually. Good morning, Dr. Gezi, and welcome to Sunday Breakfast. I'm doing fantastic. It's always a pleasure having you. Following last week's conversations, we've had some messages, lots of them, and hopefully as the show goes on, I'll be bringing you some for you to respond for us. But viewers, I would want to remind you that this show is live and interactive. So if you are watching right now and you want to send a message, you can do so via the number on your screen currently right down here. Also, you could use the hashtag Sunday Breakfast. If you go on X and you use the hashtag, I'll be absolutely glad, and it will be my honor and pleasure to read to you all of the messages that will be sent via social media. If you have any question for Dr. Gezi to answer, alternatively, you could also use the hashtag as well. So Dr. Gezi, again, good morning and thank you for joining us. I wanted to just recap for us some of the highlights of last week's discussion, then we can delve into what you have for us for today.
Right. So good morning again. Highlight for last time, we're talking about toxic relationships. about why do people stay in toxic relationships.
Mm.
I think we talked more about, because of time, we talked more about relationships in terms of spouses and why people stay. And in the first place, I think I really talked about what is, toxic relationship and why do people go into relationships in the first place. So we were delving into work, other relationships in terms of colleagues relationship, being in an environment, could even be a religious organization like churches and that, why people go in there, and then why do they stay in the relationship. So today it's about really looking at various aspects of toxic relationship and why people stay in. I think is very important, because sometimes we don't realize that the relationship, we're not even aware that the relationship we're in is toxic, unless somebody highlight or is really impacting on our health and our daily functioning.
Interesting. In all of this conversation we've been having on the show, one, I don't want to say it's a Gen Z term, but one term that has become very prominent following feedback from viewers is the word gaslighting, or gaslighting. It has become quite a term, and even on social media, every now and then you see people use it. What does it mean, for those who don't know? And will you say it's a form of toxic traits in a person?
Right. Today I'll do a test on you. What does it mean to you when they say gaslighting?
So my understanding of it, based on how I've seen people use it, and sometimes very loosely on social media, is trying to downplay the effects of someone's actions. I don't know if I capture it quite well, but sometimes you see people say, oh, somebody commits something that wasn't supposed to be have done. Somebody engages in unruly behavior and sorts of tries to use the victim's response as a defense to his actions. I don't know if that is what it is or there's more to it. Maybe you can tidy it up for us.
I think, yes, I know. I think you've actually summed it up really well in terms of, gaslighting comes under what do you call domestic abuse or abuse. It's a form of abuse. And sometimes people don't see these things coming, and people do not acknowledge that this is actually what is happening. And I think people are so busy trying to really make something happen when it's not happening.
Yeah.
Because it's a form of psychological manipulation where someone makes a person or a group of people doubt their own memory or perception of everyday events or the reality of life. So it comes under like power and control, and it happens a lot in relationship. If I do this, then I make you feel that. If I do that, then I make you feel, I make you feel small, or I make you respect me. So in a sense, it's like, I need to let you respect me. I need to let you, what you're saying is wrong. You're not right. And remember that relationship, there is a lot of emotional involvement or emotional investment. That's the right word in relationships. So if one party uses, maybe because, let's just put it in quotes, love or whatever it is that is going on, to actually manipulate or make the other person feel actually not acknowledging that what they're saying or what they're doing is real, or it's your fault. But they won't say it to your face, but it's just how it's phrased or how the behavior is, as if your work is not important, mine is. Your career is not important, mine is. Your money is not important, mine is. Or your money is important, and without you going to work, even though maybe you're having a very bad time at work and you need time off or you're ill. So what do we do? How do we pay the bills? How do we do this? How do we do that? So in a way, you're manipulating the person by making them feel that because they are not going to work, it's their fault that the house is falling apart or the relationship is falling apart. But what about the part that you play in that? Have I made myself clear?
Absolutely clear, except that I have a follow-up question. You use the word manipulation. Will you say that is a whole different instance, or it's a whole different term on its own, or it's a form of gaslighting under the bigger subject of abuse?
Yes, it comes under gaslighting and it comes under abuse. When you're manipulating somebody in a relationship, even when you're manipulating somebody in the office or in corporate world or religious world or in a home or wherever it is, you're manipulating them. That's an abuse because you're using your power or your influence. So let's say a boss and then their staff, because you know that you are in control or you're the one who maybe does the financial bit, you pay me, or you're the one who signs my check, or you're the one, if I do anything, I could lose my job or my promotion will not happen. And then because of that, you use that to say, oh, you know what, actually, I need you at 7 o'clock when you know that officially I start at 9. You try to touch me, or times that I'm not supposed to be at work, you said, oh, let's go to this function, let's go to that event, let's do this, let's do that. You are manipulating me. You are abusing me because you're abusing the fact that you are in position. It's about control. You're in position that you can do these things. And I think it goes directly with the topic for today. Why do we stay? What if I lose my job? What if this man walks away? What if this woman walks away? If I don't give her the money, if I don't, I won't even say if I don't treat her right, because that's just a right word to use. But if I don't do the things that they are making me do or say or whatever, I'll use my privileges. You lose my opportunities, So manipulation, it's a form of abuse. It's one of the biggest forms of abuse, by manipulating somebody to do all sorts: sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. It all comes under that. Financial abuse. You manipulate people using different ways to do that. Sometimes people think that, oh, I have to say, you know what, pardon my language, Jude, but like, Jude, you're stupid, to actually insult you, or, you're ugly. No, there are ways that I can say, oh my God, this trousers doesn't look good on you, or your shirt. Every time you're wearing a blue shirt, can you not wear another color? Indirectly saying that actually you don't look good in blue, or you're stuck to this, or your trousers doesn't. So people use ways. Sorry, carry on.
Let me just derail a bit, and we'll come back to the conversation.
Of course.
So with what you've just said, there are often at times where people also, to an extent, or maybe genuinely mean well, right, in how they communicate. It sometimes doesn't come off very well, but maybe you can say, or assuming that they genuinely mean well. So for example, if you see someone who's a friend in a relationship with, indulging in practices that may lead to gaining weight in an unhealthy manner, how do you then go about communicating so it doesn't appear offensive and manipulative?
Yeah. You know what? That's a very good question and statement as well, because I'd have to, in this, just go out of being professional or whatever and say there was a time, or there were times that, moving back to Ghana, and that I used to struggle with how some people speak. I used to struggle with the fact that, it's like how they come out so strong, or maybe they send a message and I'm thinking, can you not even use please first, or just say something? What really used to irritate me was somebody just saying hi. I'm not saying hi is a bad word, but it's like, hi what? Hi Annie, hi doctor, how, So it's how we communicate and the people that we're communicating with them. So gradually I got to know that it was something that was the norm. It doesn't matter a person's social status or whatever, they actually like using the word hi. But I struggled with that. I also struggled with somebody saying, oh, love, sweetheart, and all that. I'm thinking, I'm not your sweetheart. I'm not your love. I'm a professional. This is a professional relationship.
Yeah.
And I struggled with that a lot. And it took me some time. So it's about knowing who you're dealing with, how you're dealing with the situation. And what I'm sure by saying this now, Jude will never call me love or sweetheart again, but we've never done it. But I'm just saying that it's about knowing that how do we approach this situation in a calm way, or in a language that people understand. Our Ghanaian language, sometimes some of them can be a bit loud. And if you're not careful, somebody would interpret it as, why are you being so aggressive? You can tell me without raising your voice. You can tell me without using insults. Again, we have some of our comedies that you see on social media, and that they are funny, but they are full of insults and that. And sometimes people will send some to me. I'm thinking, okay, it's funny, but also the language is too strong and bad or whatever. But maybe if I show the same thing to somebody else, they will laugh.
I get you.
I'm just thinking, do you not crack a joke without offending me, or being abusive about what you're saying? So we have to look at the environment. So, yes, I'm trying to tell you that comb your hair every day or brush your teeth every day. But how do I say it so that you don't feel that I'm trying to tell you that your breath is bad? So I can go to my friend and say, you know what, actually, I'm going to say something. It's not a comfortable thing for me, and I'm sure it won't be a comfortable thing for you. But you have to remember that I'm the only one who will tell you this. See how I'm going about it? I'm the only one who will tell you this. Because I will tell you this, somebody won't tell you, but maybe you might not get get far with the things that you want to do. I realize that maybe it's the toothpaste you use or your toothbrush is a bit old. If you can get a new one, that would be great. I can even suggest and give them one. As a human being, the person might feel offended, but also the fact that I've put that, remember we are friends, remember I care, remember the same if my staff is doing something and I want to tell them, actually, how you write your stuff, maybe your grammar is poor, whatever. I really like the content, the information you put. So you start with positive. When you're trying to talk to somebody, it's the same with email. Start with positive. Then, as you go along, you state clearly that this is what. So yes, the content of your work, the story you're telling is brilliant, but I think that you could do a bit more. When you finish, can you edit it, or get somebody to just proofread it for you? So I have said the person will go back. Maybe you will be offended that I said they should let somebody proofread, but I also remember that actually, Dr. Gazy started with saying that they like the content of my work. So even though you're saying something that sounds so negative, at the same time, you're also praising them. The way you speak, the way you dress, the way you do this. But you know what? I like your clothes so much, but maybe if you can cover your the upper part or cover this or cover that, that'll be brilliant because you're very beautiful and you've got a stunning figure. But if you can just cover up a bit more. So positive, and then they're not so happy to hear.
Interesting. I think that was brilliantly handled. Thank you for the insights. Coming back to our conversation, I recall last week you telling us that for what we are discussing is not only limited to, what was the word? Love relationships.
Home,
yeah. It cuts across at the office, at home, among friend groups. What's your view? Interesting. Now, can you share with us, why do people still stay in them? Against all odds, some of them, even at the peril of their lives. Again, 2-3 weeks ago, we witnessed in this country how, but for the recording of a tenant, a landlord could have probably even gone on to kill the wife, and for a lot of people, they are baffled as to how some people, despite all of what happens to them, still are sort of stuck. What are the reasons? What are the underlying reasons why it's often very difficult for people to break these chains?
Jude, so many factors. One of the major one is financial. I think, this morning we've talked about some of these things. Financial in terms of, let's say, in a relationship, this is the person who's the provider. So if I leave, what do I do next? Maybe I haven't got any qualifications, or maybe I don't have any experience of going, even buying and selling, or I don't have the capital. So to them, it's like, why do I have to leave if I leave? So let me sacrifice. Even though it's very toxic, but at least I have a roof over my head and I have food every day. So why should I leave? It's easy for you to say that I should leave. The other reason, it's also to do with insecurity. People feel secure. There are some people who cannot not be in a relationship. Somebody would say, really? Yeah, there are some who would just move from one to the other. So as soon as they are at home, maybe with parents or guardian, they move out of home. They have to be in another relationship. So with such people, so it's about insecurity, it's about low self-esteem, low self-confidence. So I need to be with somebody to function, to feel that, I'm also somebody. So without that somebody, they don't feel that they're able to cope.
Wow.
Because I have to stay in because of the children. I have children with this man or this woman. So I leave. Maybe the person would even say, I come from a broken home. I wouldn't want my children to go through that. I wouldn't want to be with another man or another woman looking after my children. And you hear that all the time. I don't want another woman to look after my children. Or a man would say, no, I went through hell. So I'm not allowing another man to be with my children. So I am staying, even though they know clearly that the relationship is not working. Then we go to the office bit as well. Like, it took me forever to work my way up to this level. So you want me to quit when maybe in the next 2 years or so, I have promotion or my pension, or, it's like this job has got insurance, life insurance, this, that with it. So if I leave health insurance, all that I'm going to lose. And maybe I even have to start from the bottom. And these days, it's not easy to get a job. I think when you talked about, may their souls rest in peace, about the young ones, our youth who lost their lives when they were just trying to look for a job. So if I leave this job, I haven't got anything lined up. So I might as well sacrifice and stay here. I remember, was a few weeks ago, and a lady was talking about, was telling me about a group of us, telling us about, and I watched carefully. It was on a platform, a WhatsApp platform. It said, oh, she's having, lots of problems at work, and she's having sleepless nights, struggling, couldn't whatever. And I remember, things like that. I just don't comment. I just wait. And then I remember the first comment that came, oh, keep praying. God will change it. And then somebody also, it's like there was a lot of the keep praying. Then somebody says, go to HR. And in this thing, this person has stated clearly, I've tried everything and it's toxic. It's really, really bad. So eventually I waited the following day and I said, you know what, sometimes it's time to quit. You will try everything and it's time to quit. And maybe even the quitting is the best thing that happened to you. And I had to cite an example that I've done it before. And initially it was very scary. It's like, what next? And all of that. But it was the best thing. I realized that it was the best thing because when we get into our comfort zones as well, we don't quit. We don't know that there's something better out there waiting for us. So that's the thing about the toxic relationship and why people stay. They don't know that maybe there's even something better. And this thing that is making you feel that, without it, you can't survive, or without the job, without that man, without that woman, without that church, or that maybe you need to move on to grow.
Yeah.
So people are not aware of these things, and the fear of the unknown, which is part of this. People are so scared that they are not prepared to even try it out. So they sacrifice their life, their health, their emotions, everything going through this toxic relationship.
What's the responsibility on individuals, right, in terms of offering support and a safe space to friends or close persons who have to deal with toxic relationships? I ask because oftentimes, and I want to use the incident we witnessed some time ago as the case study.
Yeah.
So it took the tenant in the house to record this on video. My question is, if I notice repeatedly my colleague in the newsroom comes to the office every morning, sad, depressed, and becomes lively for the period he or she is in the office, and has to go home and now looks, down, sad, and depressed again. What was the responsibility on me, really, as a friend or a colleague, to that individual?
Yeah, I think that is where we say, I am my brother or my sister's keeper. I have to look out for my brother or my sister. Obviously, if you offer that help and they are not willing to take it, that's okay. You did your best. But when people are going through stuff, sometimes they are so deep into it that, they're not even aware of what is going on around them. The awareness is not there. So it's very, very difficult for them to actually do anything. So you are the one who, you just need to prompt. Like, sometimes you don't have to say much, because when you say a lot, you end up losing them.
Yeah.
So it's important that you just drop hints like, oh, are you okay? Is everything? I noticed that, You used to smile a lot in the office, but you don't anymore. Remember that I'm here for you. It's always about making sure that you build that rapport, saying that I'm here for you. You can talk, you can trust me. And also remember that if it's confidential, I don't have to share it because it's your affair, it's your business, it's not mine. But I just want to assure you that I am here for you. Building that little, especially when you know the person and you know that they're the kind of people who wouldn't want to share what they're going through or who they are or their personal life, because it's like, oh, it's my personal life, it's got nothing to do with work. Or they hear gossip, because if the office is such that people are talking about people all the time, there are certain people when they're going through stuff, they don't want people to know. So it's about reassuring that I'm there for you. And another one would be start gradually inviting them for when you have lunch break or something. Don't say much, but then you'd realize that the people, oh, actually, Jude is not bad, It looks as if I can talk to Jude. He's different. He's different from the others. So by just building that gradually or going out with them, or if it's a neighbor or something, knocking on the door, oh, good morning. I thought I haven't seen you for 2 days. Just saying hi, or do you want to come to church with me? So you're not mentioning, maybe you've even seen that there's something going on. There's some severe abuse going on or whatever. But sometimes you just pretend just to test the waters to see whether the person will open up. It's interesting we're talking about this because just last week, something like that happened elsewhere. And then the neighbor actually saved the lady because she was hearing noise day and night going on, beating, banging, and all that. So she decided that every day she would just knock on the door and say, oh, good morning. I'm so lonely, and I just thought that I haven't even said hello to you. We've not said hello to each other, have we? Since you moved in. So I thought I'd come and say hello. So using that gradually, and the woman would say, I'm fine. And she would slam the door. And she's got bruises on her face, everything. She would come to the door. And the neighbor would say, if you don't open the door and say hello, I'll keep standing here and banging until. But she knew what she was doing. And I really want this thing to be turned into a short film. And I'm trying to get that so we can get it on our screen someday. And gradually, this lady now started opening the door and started opening up. And then she got help and got her into a safe place with her 2 kids. But imagine if the neighbor hadn't done that. Imagine what would have happened to them, because this man was, when she eventually opened up, it was bad. That was when they spoke to me, and then I referred them somewhere that they should go and then got them a place. But my point is that this is a neighbor. This is not a brother or a sister or a mother or a father. This is just a neighbor. But the neighbor heard something and decided that I'm going to approach it differently by just being friends with this lady and getting her to trust me and start talking.
Interesting. What will you say, and thank you for this really robust explanation on the role of individuals in helping, our fellow brother, sister, colleague when they have to go through this ordeal. But then what you say is the responsibility of the state in all of this. Point in case, or the caveat really being that we know that the social work unit is completely collapsed or almost non-existent in this country. So as a country, what should be the policy direction? What should be the approach in dealing with this issue of persons dealing or having to go through some of these ordeal at a national level?
Yeah. One is what you're doing this morning, what we are doing this morning, talking about highlights and educating and making people aware. It's interesting as we're talking now, I've got people sending me text messages that they're watching and it's interesting. So we're educating. Also, is up to the state to ensure that services, people are aware that there are services. Because sometimes you talk to people, I didn't even know that this exists. I didn't even know that we have this. I didn't even know you can talk to somebody. So it's about how do we access these services, like our local hospitals, clinics, even schools, tertiary institutions, colleges, information, leaflets, whatever are available. You go to websites, so there are websites that people can go to. Helplines that people can access as well. So making sure that we have these information available to people, all around, and having programs, which I think we have some local programs that's all they talk about. People have programs where people can share relationships or what they're going through. But before people share, they might, you have to have the confidence to even share. basically. So it's about really making sure that there are services, because we have the policies, but it's in the implementation. We need to implement it. We need to make sure that it's actually working by having bodies who actually do what they've been assigned to do. Because we're always talking, what can we do? What can we do about this? Or what policies can we put in place? If you put policies in place, but they are not being implemented, then we have a problem. So it's about, we have the policies and that, and also like our law enforcement. Like if you hit somebody, actually, we can call the police. We can call the law enforcement. We can, making domestic violence, making toxic relationship a thing, making like offices a safe place, like whistleblowing. You whistleblow, and for somebody who doesn't understand, whistleblowing is there's something really bad going on in an office or organization, and nobody's doing anything about it. So you look for the powers above and you go and tell them. That's whistleblowing. But you whistleblow, and if you're not careful, the person that you've told is going to come back and say, oh, do you know that even Annie told me that this is what you're doing? So it's about also making sure and giving people confidence, especially if it's a private company. You whistleblow and you lose your job. So making sure that people feel confident enough to come out. Or maybe the boss doesn't even know, because if I build my company and I built it with my sweat and my blood, yeah? And then somebody is actually coming in and then causing these problems because maybe I'm too busy that I don't see what goes on in the general office. So if you come to me and say to me, oh, Annie, do you know what, actually, do you know that every morning we are made to do ABC? Or we are made to come in at 6 a.m. when we're supposed to start at 9. Flexible working hours are not working. Maternity hours are not working. Paternity, and maybe I'm not aware because I'm too busy building my empire. I think that somebody should be able to feel that confident to come forward. And if you're in a position as well that you should be able to go to the office or the staff or whatever and talk to them. Keep having conversation with the ordinary person that you would normally not have conversation with. Have conversations with the cleaner and say, how are you doing? And that it makes them feel special, and it makes them feel that they belong as well. And in the home as well, if you've got friends, if you've got family, you don't see your sister, you don't see your brother, or you as a person, you need to communicate. So we are all responsible. When we talk about the state or the country or what can we do, everybody is responsible, top, bottom, bottom up. We are all responsible for making our environment safe for us.
Top, bottom up, we are all responsible. What an interesting way to put all this together for us. We are so grateful for your time every time we have to talk to you, Dr. Annie Gazy. Personally, I mean, we do the show for our viewers, but personally, I get to learn a lot from your deep wisdom on these issues.
Thank you.
Each time
Thank you very much.
Dr. Annie Gazy is an addictive behavioral specialist and also hypnotherapist, because she does a lot within the space, helping us through the conversation on, we started last week on toxic relationships, why people stay in them, and offering very, very deep insights into how to manage it and the role of everyone, myself, you, and of course, government, in making sure that we curb this canker. We'll take you straight to Elubo, where the road conditions there is clearly creating serious problems for residents in the area and in the Western region at large. Our Western Regional Bureau Chief, Akwesi Ejenim, has been following this story keenly and filed the following report.
A vital cocoa producing enclave in the Western North region. In September 2020, President Nana Akufo-Addo cast off for the construction of the 71.25 kilometer Enchi Elubo Road, a project earmarked for funding by Cocoa Board to the tune of $116 million. The announcement raised hopes among chiefs and residents of Elubo, Boinso, Jema, and Enchi, but the project never materialized. Today, the road's deplorable state has left motorbikes and tricycles as the only available means of transportation, costing passengers between 150 and 200 Ghana cedis per trip. Those who cannot afford the fare are forced to trek long distances. Vehicles that dare to use the road frequently break down or get stuck in the mud.
Bad state of the road is actually caused a lot of inconvenience. What you see over here is a tanker car that has actually gotten stuck on the way, and all the motorists that are actually on the highway have been stuck. At the moment, we've gotten a truck that actually helping to pull the tanker off the way so other remaining vehicles can make a pass. But until that is done, we are likely to either sleep here overnight or pray that a heavy-duty truck will actually be here to help in pulling this very truck before we can make a pass.
We are going to Boeing, so we came to meet our tanker here, but look at the road, it's stuck, so we can go.
How long have you been here?
Almost an hour. It's very bad. We used to use the other road, but it's also bad. That's from mile 4 to Boenso. But it's very bad. So we tried to use this one today, and you can see they should come and help us. That's what I can say. Because most of our resources, cocoa, gold, all comes from this place. And look at the road. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. We just pray the government come and help us. That's what I can say. I'm even sad looking at how the road has been.
Nana Akufo-Addo, when she was in power, he promised us that he's going to do the road for us. But since then, we didn't see anything. Mahamudu has come. Yes, the same problem that we are facing. So we are pleading on the government that the government should do well and then come and then help us on the road, because people are suffering on this road. Those from Boenso to Elibo, they face a whole lot of problems before getting to Elibo. So this time we are pleading on the government to force and then come and do the road for us.
And by never banning I bet me a movie abeto. But as I say, quine to be beer, yellow, yes, then be bread, here first, a quino pass. See, I am with you. Free hair, quite liba, almost 1.5. Wabla quine ya
150 Ghana cedis.
I make a trail.
How many?
Moto yet to see. Oh, a quine ya. Taxi beba wajia blue so 20 cedi. But as I say, quine yentino. Moto ni junior ope. One Francois onko me baha no paya esen kam free Boenso baha no person ko libo. Minya moto 1.
Ana abawia.
Ana abawia o 1.5 misimintu anti esra ban no. Ne ye first eye bibia ne kwan no ye kwan ne mayen dia ye pepa anti esra ne se o meye kwan ne mayen.
2028 na o ma anye kwan na mo bere.
Ye ntoma no. And they are simple.
These women carrying heavy loads with babies on their backs say they have been walking for hours to Elibo because no vehicles are able to ply the road.
Are the cars mahasia?
I had a qualibon. See a higher pa. You're quite better. Opa unya kamba ubeberesa wa vya kwa moto kurambo mufa na mudo obebo form.
Jama community here in the Awi municipality of the Western North is a key contributor to the country's production of cocoa, which is such an important resource that the country exports to get foreign exchange. And as you can see behind me, this is the very cocoa plant that actually helps in the production of these cocoa beans that is so crucial to the economy of Ghana. But resident tells me that they seem to have been left out when it comes to the distribution of the country's social infrastructure, and a key among them is the issue of roads within the area.
Ahaya chatting by ya bibia fa ha kwakwane so enso ya kwane dia ya kwane nya kura odo base ya ho fa ya kwane dia nya kura enti dia esra ba ne se ohu ya mobo na sania ya nya galam se ya de ne ba efe poa o man Canada o meye ya kwane maye.
Western North Regional Minister Wilbert Petibrentum has given assurances that the road will be constructed.
It is from Elibo to Enchi, and it is now under the big push. Fortunately, the Western North, through your prayers, and the prayers of the good people of West North that I lead, we were able to push 5 major roads under the big push. And Elubu to Jema to Enchi is one of them. And this road is very dear to the heart of the people, not only of Awami, but the whole of the Western North region. The president has said it and reiterated it. Even the recent budget, the Honorable Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Atufosin, reiterated the same thing, that once the contracts are given out, we don't expect contractors to spend more than 2 years. So just when I was coming, I even called the contractor, and we are looking at in the next few days, we will come here or anywhere to commission, to cut the sod.
The resident of Jama tells me that the government has not showed them support or recognition for their contribution to the cocoa commodity that the country needs so much, but also rewarding them with a good road. They will not have any choice but to vote against the government come the next election. For Channel 1 TV News, I'm Akwesi Jenim, Jama.
Wow, so very, very unpleasant scenes at the Elubo and Chi stretch. Now, mind you, Elubo is a border town in the western region, the Jumoro district to be precise, that, connects Ghana to the Ivorian counterparts of Cote d'Ivoire. Now, of course, you also know that Enchi is a big cocoa growing area. We know also that Galamsey, or in the western region, some players within the space, anti-Galamsey, observers have described the western region as the capital of Galamsey. So there's a lot going on. Very recently, Bernard Avle interviewed the road minister, Kwame Governance Agboja, on government's big push program or project which seeks to develop a lot of the roads infrastructure in the country. We've seen many of them already taking shape here and there. But for residents in Enchi, they are not particularly enthused. They say that it's affecting their business, it's affecting their livelihood, productivity is going down, especially for farmers. And so our correspondent in the area, in the region, Akwesi Ejenim, is joining us to just give us some more details on this and other issues raised by residents in Enchi. Good morning and welcome to Sunday Breakfast, Akwesi.
Good morning, Jude.
Amazing. Today, you're not in the car, you're in your office, and I can see that you're looking very sharp this morning. Welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Thank you.
Oh, the next time I come to the West
Thank you.
you have to put me in your car and drive me around. The way you were doing it last 2 weeks. Amazing. What's the issue really? Because for Enchi Elubo, I get a sense that there are two big towns in the western region, particularly because Elubo is a border town and Enchi is a big cocoa growing area. So how much of a struggle is this? And I'm referring to the state of the dilapidated state of the roads in the area.
Well, Jude, this very road has a history. I mean, it's called it's part of the N12 highways we have in the country. So when you use the N1 all the way from Accra through Cape Coast, through Takoradi to Elubo, just as you enter Elubo, there's a branch road off the N1 onto the N12, which is between Elubo and Enchi. And this, according to government data, is around 171 kilometers stretch. And the history we have of this road is that in September 2020, we had the former administration, actually the president led by President Akufo-Addo, coming to cut salt to construct this road. The road was given to a Chinese company called TIEC. But after they mobilized and started doing some few works, they demobilized. In fact, we didn't see them again. And later when we checked, we were told that they were not being paid. And so they abandoned the road. And the people are a bit skeptical, although they've heard that the current administration has actually put this road under the big push to get it reconstructed. They are a bit skeptical. They are not sure whether it is going to end up like it has been before. But to tell you a bit about the importance of this road, this is supposed to be one of the main reliable roads linking the western region with the western north. Elubo is in the western region, and then Enchi is the capital town of the Awin municipality, and so which is in the western north. And so if you really want to easily connect from the westernmost part of the western region to the western north, this is the most reliable route that you have to go through. And so it's also a serious cocoa growing area, as you know. It's one of the, highly reliable, cocoa producing area. But every year, when you use this route, you see a lot of cocoa haulage trucks getting stuck on this very road. And because of the state of the road, we don't have commercial vehicles plying on this route anymore. And passengers or residents will have to rely on just motorbicycles to transport. And even that one, it costs a lot. The minimum it will take you from a community to the next community will be around 150 Ghana cedis. And it's really a problem over there. And that is why the residents are calling for this road to be taken seriously, as it has been indicated to be part of the Big Push agenda.
Interesting. You spoke to traders. Beyond the fact that they complain that this is affecting their livelihood in terms of prices of goods, prices of food stuff, what other issues did they raise to you with regards to the state of the road?
Well, Jude, health depends a lot on, commuting, especially in these areas where they don't have good hospital facilities. They always have to leave their small communities when somebody is sick, when somebody is pregnant, or somebody is due for delivery. They have to quickly, transport such a person to the nearby or the nearest bigger community with a bigger hospital. And so most of them find themselves having to travel from Jema and all that to Elubo to access proper health care. And the only means of transportation during emergency cases is these very motorbicycles or a tricycle. And if you can see, you saw in the footage, you see a tricycle actually turning down because of the poor road. And so it's difficult, when it comes to health delivery, it's not good for, sick people to actually be transported on this road, for pregnant people to be transported on the road. And there are several horrific stories about how pregnant women have actually lost their pregnancy on this very stretch because of the poor road. Sometimes people die because of their inability to get a vehicle to actually go to the neighboring community during emergency. So it is really affecting healthcare delivery. And again, because of poor road, no teacher would want to actually accept transfer to any of the communities over there. And so it is also affecting teacher transfers to the area. It's not an attractive area. In fact, Jude, if you go there, I'm telling you, you will tell yourself you won't come there again. It's a torture. It's a torture to actually be on that road.
With the tanker that got stuck when you filed the report, on which part of the road did that occur?
Well, this is around, this is between Jema and Elubo. This is between Jema and Elubo.
And Jema is the community where they resisted the Galamsey, where the chiefs and the Reverend Father came together to reject Galamsey offers and bribes, right?
Exactly so. And that is the kind of route that, they are being made to use. It's so horrific, and the people are not happy. They produce so much food stuff, very organic food stuff that we need in the towns and the cities, but they are not able to haul it to the market centers in Lubo and Esiama and Takrade and the rest. And it also affects their production over there. They put in so much into their farming, and they don't get a yield because there's no market people to buy it. Everything just gets stuck there and then gets rotten. So they really have a lot of issues coming from this road that is so much problem.
We've been joined by residents from the area, but still with you, Akwesi, before we get to the resident. I listened to you interview the regional minister, and he mentioned that the road has been assigned under the Big Push project. What else do we know? Are contractors on site? If not, when are they expected on site? And did they speak to you about scheduled or proposed completion dates?
Well, he did mention that, he didn't really know when they're actually going to mobilize to come to site to start construction. But he was very much sure that the road is going to take 2 years, 24 months for completion. And so I kept hitting him. Then when is the mobilization? When are they going to mobilize to site for us to begin to count the 24 months for the construction? And he said that people should, remain expectant. The contractors will soon mobilize to site. But what I saw when we were returning was that the portions of the road that we got to a point where it was really hectic. They called some earth moving machines to actually graders, to excavators to actually come in there and help to sort of level the place, put in some stones. And I happened to talk to the person who was leading that, and he told me that they are the contractors to actually come and construct the road. But he didn't sound that convincing. I asked him when are they actually mobilizing to site, and he told me that their contract hadn't been firmed up. So they are looking for Parliament to actually firm up the contract, and then hopefully early next year, they'll be on site. But for now, they are only managing the road by making sure that the most affected portions are given some kind of redressing.
Interesting. We've been joined by Joel Kwesi Blay, who is a concerned resident in the area, Jema to be specific, where, by the way, viewers, by way of information, now this community came in the news some time ago where they resisted bribes by some Galamsey operators to allow them entry into forest reserves to illegally mine. And my Reverend Father, a friar, for that matter, together with the chief who was unwell at the time, led this advocacy against illegal mining. And they became a proper story, a very a national story on what a loving, decent, patriotic, leadership could do in terms of the fight against illegal mining. Our residents from the area has joined us to share with us some frustrations and concerns about the state of the road. Good morning, Justice, and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning.
Joel. Good morning, Joel.
Good morning.
Great. I trust you're well.
Oh, by His grace.
Interesting. I listened to my correspondent, Akwesi, speak with regards to the report he filed on the state of the road, and you get a sense that it is affecting every single thing in the area, from healthcare, education, agriculture, everything. How do you keep up? Like, if you have to use the stretch, how do you mentally prepare before that commute?
Thank you, and greetings to all your viewers. As it was said by the one on your television this morning, through his speech, I got to know he was here during the 1-year celebration of Jaga, because as he was sharing his concerns, that is what I saw. And this road network, in fact, we are even tired of it. And this road network, if I'm telling you when it was started around 93, during Rawlings' time. And in fact, if I tell you now what we are going through, it is too pathetic. Because when it comes to farming, this community contributes a lot of quota to this country. When it comes to cocoa, we contribute a lot of tons, not in bags, so tons. As I'm telling you, about thousands of tons, only this community. When it comes to plantain, I think you saw some in their footages. When it comes to plantain, organic foods, you cannot do away with this community. Everything from this community is organic. But how are we doing by transporting our foodstuffs to other communities? Or even when market women are coming here to purchase this foodstuff, how are they going to manage this road?
Yeah.
Now, the only means of transport is tricycle and by a what do you call it, motorbike.
Mm.
And you can see a pregnant woman on a motorbike from this place to Elubo, from this place to Enchi.
Is that an alternative road?
There is no alternative road. This is the N12 road from Elubo to Enchi. And we have so many communities on this stretch. So from here to Elubo, a distance which you can use only 25 minutes or 20 minutes, you use about 2.5 to 3 hours. Because the road is too bad. Even if you try to use 4x4 on this road, my brother, unless you go to maintenance for about 2 months before you refix your 4x4. So it's too pathetic. Look at this place. This and in our municipality, this is the only community that we were able to stand Galamsey. Look at the pressures from other political leaders, the pressures from other government agencies, the pressures from other local leaders. But with this community, we don't have military men here. We are nothing, but we were able to stand Galamsey.
Wow.
If you come to this place, around this place, you see about 60 rivers with streams that are clear. It's only 1-2 rivers for their source is not on our land. That is Boyne and Tano River. You don't have their source here.
Joe,
for that one, yeah.
I want to find out from you, how were you able to withstand the Galamsey pressure under the circumstances?
Yeah, when it comes to this fight, it was a big agreement that we were able to agree on only one point. Both the youth, the leaders over here, the traditional leaders, we all got to a point that we don't like Galamsey because we had other people who have done research on it, and they came to tell us what the effect is, the outcome is. So we all bought that idea that if this is what is going on, or if this is what the outcome is, then we don't have to indulge in this illegal activity. So both the leaders, the traditional leaders, including the chief, the reverends, those who stand in our favor through prayers, and even the political leaders over here, we all came together to sign one agreement that if anybody indulge in Galamsey, that person will not find himself free or in a good place. So because of this bylaw, this only local law that we did for ourselves bind us, and it has helped us a lot.
Interesting. Let's come back to the state of the road. What's been the feedback from the local authorities? Now, my correspondent again, Akwesi Ejenim, tells us that the minister has mentioned that this is going to be another big push project. Have you received correspondence from the local assembly, from the district office of the Ministry of Roads? Have they communicated anything to you, residents or community group leaders on how it intends to address the road situation?
Yeah, that is what we heard. Even when we were celebrating the 1-year anniversary, the minister came here and he said something about that, but he was unable to confirm that they will come this time or if they will come January, February. He was unable to confirm, but he said something about the route. But now, my brother, what we don't have interest in is we don't have interest in the politicians, because they have used this road as their source of vote. Because the residents or those on this stretch, they have interest on this road. They use this as a bait to lure the people. When there is a political party A, when he's in government, he preach on this road that, in due time we'll come and fix your road, you will get a tar road. So, or we all support that particular party. As I told you, this road started around 93. We've got NDC 1, MPP 1, NDC 2, MPP 2, but we are still in. So they use this road as their source of vote. They use it as a bit to lure us. Then we support them, we vote for them. When they get the power, that's all. I quite remember around 2001. Yeah, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came to cut a sword for this road. But here we are now. And
Wow.
when NDC2 came, the same thing, they did the same thing. Before came to meet this road, what do you call our former president?
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Yeah, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the latest one, but before Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo,
There was Mahama and there was President Mills.
Yes, Mahama and President Mills, they came to meet this road. Before Nana Addo, they all came to meet this road. But here we are in the same situation. So what are we seeing? So because of that, we don't have interest in our political leaders, our local leaders again. They come here and give us the same story, but at the end, what do we see? We still remain in our muddy process.
Interesting.
So, in fact, they have said it, but we don't have interest. What we now need is action. That they are on the road, everything is going on.
To give us that action you talk of as the public relations head of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasir Ahmed Yate. Good morning, Mr. Yate, and welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
Good morning. I want to take the opportunity to also greet your viewers.
Amazing. It's been a while. I hope you are well.
By God's grace, we are doing well.
Interesting. For residents in Enchi and Elubo, for them, they say they are not quite well. But however, let me just say, we've seen some of the amazing work happening across the country. So for example, today I used the motorway. You could tell that the work is going on quite speedily. The Teshi bound of the road in front of the La Palme Hotel is going on quite speedily as well. And pockets of the Fanko, Pokwase in Saum stretch. Excellent job so far. Can you, before we delve into Enchi, can you give us maybe a brief overview of some of the major ongoing road projects in the country?
Thank you so much. You know, under the current administration, the flagship project for program for road infrastructure is the Big Push program of projects. As I speak to you, President has cut short for the Greater Accra, for Volta region, for Western Cape Coast, for Upper East, Upper West. And the President himself has said that he's going to turn the country into a construction zone. And so all over the country, there are major construction going on. The main aim of the Big Push, the first phase of it, is to connect inter-regions and then districts. So we are dealing mainly with the trunk roads, how we can connect our districts, our regions. That's the first priority of the first phase of the Big Push, and that's where the NT road also comes in, because it's connecting a very important region that is the Western North, and that place is in terms of the economic value that it brings to the country. It's a very important corridor, and that is why it has been added to the Big Push.
So for the Enchi Elubo Road, we know it's part of the N1. It connects all the way from Tema, Accra, Cape Coast, Sekondi, all the way to Elubo, which is a border town, to our neighbors, Côte d'Ivoire. What's the state of the road, particularly on the Jema Elubo Enchi stretch? Because we listened to the regional minister. He tells us that the road has been awarded as a contract under the Big Push, but he's unable to give us clear dates on and timelines on when mobilization will start and when construction would start. And of course, also unable to definitely tell us when all of this should come together finally. Do you have any updates to share for us in that regard?
Well, thank you very much. If you will recall that in this year's budget, Parliament approved a multi-year funding commitment for 33 projects under the Big Push, and the 33 projects included this road corridor that we are discussing. As I speak to you, the contractor on the road is Top International Engineering Ghana Limited. The contractor is in the process mobilizing to site, and they are also undertaking some activity, especially maintaining some bad sections of the road. We expect, like all other Big Push or most Big Push projects, that this road will be constructed and completed within 24 months. So I wish to assure the people of Western North that government is really committed to completing this road corridor. And it's not just a promise, but it's something that the president is committed to completing as part of his legacy project. And so they should rest assured that this project will be delivered maybe by the end of 2027. We should see the project.
By the end of 2027, interesting.
But because it's a
24 month project.
Yes.
But when can you give us like definite answers on when it will start?
So contractors are mobilizing to site. Normally, it will take about a month for them, a month or two for contractors to fully mobilize to site. And so anything early January, ending of January, we expect the contractor, that is 2026, we expect the contractor to be fully mobilized to site and for work to be to continue in earnest, to commence in earnest. Let me also say that all the Big Push projects, we are introducing the 24-hour economy policy on it, and so contractors have been asked to work 24/7 on these projects so that they can meet the completion deadline. And so once the contractor is fully mobilized to site, we expect non-stop work. And then the big assurance is that government has dedicated funding for the Big Push. As you are aware, in this year's budget, over 10 billion Ghana cedis was dedicated to it. In next year's budget, about 30.8 billion Ghana cedis has been devoted for the Big Push project. The finance minister is on record to have said that any contractor who releases or come up with an interim payment certificate within 1 to 3 months, that certificate will be honored by government. And so contractors have no excuse not to work. And so we expect that every contractor on the Big Push project will work seriously and complete the project within schedule.
Thank you so much for your time and for the good work you're doing, Nasser Yate, who is the head of public relations at the Ministry of Roads and Highways.
Much.
Great. So Akwesi Ejeni, whose great report brought us the story and also brought it to national limelight. Akwesi, thank you for the work you're doing for the people in the Western region and Western North. Hopefully we get to talk more on other issues in the area. But thank you so much for your time this morning, Akwesi.
Welcome.
Amazing. Earlier, you also heard Joel, who is a resident in the area and has been decrying the repeated neglect by successive governments. We'll take a break on what has been an also pleasant and not so pleasant, story, but the assurance is that government is committed. The ministry's PR tells us that by 2027, we should see that the road is completed and relief brought to residents around the area. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, there's a big conversation on, you could fairly say, the biggest Christmas event to happen in the capital and beyond. You don't want to miss out on that conversation. There's also sports. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Rooted in heritage. Shaped by ambition. Defined by style. Inspired by soul. This is Afro Quality, the first multi-country concept store for African brands. Now in Nairobi, Kigali, and Accra.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is the competition. Everything.
Join our family for AFCON Morocco 2025 from 21 December to 18 January. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
This Christmas Eve, skip the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. Welcome to the Situation All White Party 2025, where the music never stops, the energy never drops, and the fun never ends. Celebrating grand style with great music, irresistible food, and an atmosphere that screams good vibes only. Date 24th December 2025. Venue Good Park near the Accra Mall. Time 8 p.m. till late. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. Get ready for electrifying live performances from Kofi Kinata, Perez Music, Inchin Chin Band, and DJ Mingle. Your best all-white fit. Bring your dancing shoes and let's light up the night together. Book your tables now. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973. It's Christmas Eve. Don't miss it. The Situation All-White Party 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM, and it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and Hallmark Cafe, and supported by Oswald Investments Limited.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. Just gone by, we brought you the story on the Enchi Jema Elubo stretch, where residents and traders, they are calling on government to come quickly to fix the state of the road. We're also being told it's been awarded under the big push, so we'll be following keenly as things unfold. But it's now time for a conversation, actually, on the biggest Christmas event, the one that shuts down the capital, right after which everybody can go and sleep, you know. And to help us do it is Senior David Kwekusechi, major guy. Kweku, it's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Oh, where is the senior from?
Oh, you're a senior man. You're a different level. You're a different level. Always a pleasure having you.
Jude, it's good to be here.
Yeah, situation for a lot of people is a time to rewind.
Yeah.
I was saying to some of the guys in studio the other time that, see, 2025 has been like a very, like an emotional roller coaster, even nationally, right? You know, so many things happened. You know, of course, a new government came into office. So much has happened within the year if you actually, you know, take stock of everything. So most important, and people settle in December, you know, and reflect, you know, and there you have it. I know there's so much to say, but even the name, right? It's like there's a whole story to it.
Yes.
Wow, what's all of this about?
So, situation began in 2020, and it was really the word situation is actually a play on the situation we found ourselves in, as in COVID. The COVID situation and all that. But because of COVID, we couldn't do what we had been known for many, many years, which was December to Remember, and people still, these days they don't ask so much, but up to about last year, people still ask, oh, when is it coming back? When is it coming back? It's seasons change. So situation has come to stay. Now, it is an all-white party. It used to be an all-white outdoor party, but it's now not necessarily an outdoor party, but it's an all-white party, regardless. Okay, so the situation all-white party is what it is now. Why all-white? Well, in Ghana we're very big on white as a symbol of celebration, right? And what we want to say to everyone, to ourselves, to the good Lord, is that we're grateful for how far He's brought us through 2025. In some countries they have a day they set aside to give thanks, right? And we want to use situation also to say thank you, to God, to our friends, to our family, to our work colleagues, all of that, to say thank you for an amazing year so far. Like what you're saying was right. We've had the ups, we've had the downs, but in a summary, it's been a good year, and we want to give thanks to God for that. Now, the situation, all-white party this year is interestingly heading to a place called the Good Park. Okay, so it's been a good year, and it's happening at the Good Park. Right, and for those who don't know where Good Park is, it's adjacent to the Accra Mall. The Accra Mall car park is adjacent to that space, so you can't miss it. And it's also on Google Map in case you don't, you're still worried and you're still wondering. Just put it in Google Map and you'll find your way there very easy. It's next door to the Accra Mall. Right. So it's happening on the 24th night, okay? The eve of Christmas. All right, the eve of Christmas. So we party our way into Christmas Day.
I love that. I love the sound of that.
We party our way into Christmas Day. Yes, and it's not like any other party you've ever been to. This one stops. It's the party that ends all arguments. It's the party that ends all parties. It's the party that resets the year. So we get ready for, after situation, we're getting ready for 2026. Absolutely. That's really what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who can be a part of this, right? Because I know sometimes people would love to come in groups.
Yes.
So what was the arrangement like?
Well, everybody can be a part of it, but we specifically want to call out corporates, large groups, church groups, all kinds of groups. So year groups, all groups, and as you can see on the tables there, in your shots, we actually we ask you to give us a name that you would prefer your table to be called, and we will put that name on your table. We will address you as such, Yes, so the thing is that a lot of people try to plan end-of-year parties for their staff, and that's why I mentioned corporates at the beginning, for their staff, for their teams, teams that have done well. You want to say thank you to them and throw them a party. You want to sometimes, how every month of the year there are some institutions, when you walk in there, they have employee of the month, and sometimes some corporates want to go as far as saying that all the employees of the month want to throw a party for you, right? So 12 of them for the whole year. But how to plan, where to go, what to do, all of that. Listen, you don't need to worry. We have your back. We've planned everything. We've planned everything down to the last T. So we've planned the venue, the food, the decor, the sound, the music, and we've brought you special entertainment. All right. So, and that's the part that blows people's mind, because when you go to a party, you're expecting food, you're expecting drinks, you're expecting good music, but nobody ever expects artists to pass through the party, right? But this year, not only are we getting artists passing through, we have 3 solid artists who are passing through. So let me give you, so we have Kofi Kenata coming through, we have Akwaba coming through, and then we have also, okay, so there you have it on your screen, so you can see Kofi Kenata is definitely passing through. We also have Akwaba passing through, and then we have Perez Music passing through as well. And I'll tell you a little bit about Perez, but then we also have the Chinchin Band,
Absolutely.
who, I mean, hands down, top band 2025
had an
easy.
incredible year.
They had an amazing year, dropped new songs, dropped, great
concert,
stuff,
yeah.
had
Top
fantastic
concerts,
concerts
yeah.
for us to enjoy all of that. They will be headlining as our stage band for, Situation 2025.
And Kpakpo Mingo.
And of course, DJ Mingle is in a different category of his own, because DJ Mingle has a way of communicating through his music. There's no one, I've never been to any event that we've done where DJ Mingle was DJing that people were able to sit and, sit, relax, enjoy the music. No, that's not DJ Mingle. Then it's somebody else behind the turntable. That's not DJ Mingle. When DJ Mingle's behind the turntables, trust me, you'll be on your feet. So come with comfortable shoes, come with your all white, come be prepared to dance, be prepared to enjoy yourself, be prepared to have a good time, be prepared to ease your stress, end the year on a high note. And of course, assisting DJ Mingle will be our very own, this time not head of news, but the rave master will be doing his thing. Yeah, and of course he wears many hats, and when he holds the microphone, he definitely does it like a different personality altogether. Yes.
I'm sure a few people or companies have done incredible work bringing all of this together for us. You want to just mention them briefly before we wrap up?
Yes, definitely. So we want to say a big thank you to EcoBank for sponsoring. We also want to say a big thank you to Bethel Logistics as well, to Hallmark Cafe, and then of course for supporting us as well. Oswald Investments have also been a big support. We are saying that call the numbers on your screen. This time around, always we release a single number.
Yeah.
This time around, we're saying there are 2 numbers you can call. It's end of the year. There's not much time left. Call those numbers 0205 973 973, 0558 973 973. We have 3 solid packages for you: platinum, diamond, and gold. And
amazing.
You can be part of that. Yes.
David Kwekusechi, thank you so much for your time. We'll be there. We'll go. Last year I was a waiter at the 7.
I also did some 7 last year. It was fantastic. I loved
the chief servant.
I loved it.
Just, we were jamming.
So you can see the diamond package, you can see the gold package, you can see the diamond and all that. So the platinum package is your business class, and then we have, so you can see that all the details there on that. Take a screenshot of it if you're watching on TV, and you can sort yourself.
I'll be looking forward to
it.
The
diamond is also there,
and we'll be running. All through this week, we'll be sharing a lot more details as we unfold the table packages.
Call the number.
Just call the number, and you get sorted anything you need to know. Wow. That's all time allows for our conversation on the biggest Christmas event happening at the Good Park this December, the Situation All White Party. And like David has done on the show, he's given us all what we need to know. We'll take a quick break. When we are back in the sports. Don't go away.
James has been searching for happiness for years. So So we asked locals to point him to the source of their happiness. Until one fateful night, when his search finally came to an abrupt end. Find your happy place with GoTV. Get GoTV to enjoy a wide range of shows for the whole family. GoTV. Love it.
Behind every closed door, a secret is waiting to explode.
Always been regarded as a useful and a sound party person. So I gather there's a fair chance of me making the office, provided we don't get into trouble. So don't start any trouble with the police.
Detective Calls, an intriguing stage play brought to life on television, where every clue matters and every character is a potential suspect.
About 2 hours ago, a young woman died at the police hospital.
This will take only the service of a fierce and yielding and sharp as steel detective to uncover the truth behind this web of lies and betrayal.
And so, you used the power you had as the daughter of a good customer and also that of a powerful, politically connected man in the town to punish the girl. Why didn't you come to me when you realized you were in such a mess?
Because you are not the kind of father a chap could come to when they are in trouble, that's why.
Grow from Image Bureau Productions. Detective Calls, coming soon on Channel 1 TV.
This week on The Upside Down Show, we uncover a story of pain, regret, grace, and revelation. Frema Edunyame sits with a man who spent more than 2 decades in prison for an offense he did not commit.
How did you find yourself in prison?
I met a friend who happened to be a police officer. He took us to a place where the car was parked.
Right.
And then he said, this is the car
What car was it?
Then it was even a taxi cab also. Okay. He brought a car number plate and he asked me to replace that number plate on the car. Out of panic or whatever, he just disappeared. He was wearing a smock and suddenly the smoke fell down.
He shares his unbelievable journey and even brings his special greetings from evangelist Mama Pat.
I'm bringing greetings also from our sister, Patricia. She's also doing well now.
You saw her?
Oh yeah, by the grace of God.
The day you came out and you saw the sun, when you stood out of Nsawam prison, where were you going?
What came to mind is that from hell to heaven, darkness to light.
One day you win.
One day you win.
One day you win.
One day you
Make a date with us this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Channel 1 TV for a thought-provoking conversation you won't forget.
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is a competition. Everything.
Join our family for AFCON Morocco 2025 from 21 December to 18 January. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
This Christmas Eve, skip the ordinary and step into the extraordinary. Welcome to the Situation All White Party 2025, where the music never stops, the energy never drops, and the fun never ends. Celebrating grand style with great music, irresistible food, and an atmosphere that screams good vibes only. Date 24th December 2025. Venue Good Park near the Accra Mall. Time 8 p.m. till late. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. Get ready for electrifying live performances from Kofi Kinata. Perez Music. In Chin Chin Band. And DJ Mingle. DJ Mingle. Your best all-white fit. Bring your dancing shoes and let's light up the night together. Book your tables now. Call 0205-973-973 or 0558-973-973. It's Christmas Eve. Don't miss it. The Situation All-White Party 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM. And it's proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and Hallmark Cafe, and supported by Oswald Investments Limited.
It's time to promote volunteerism, active citizenship, and patriotism in Ghanaian society,
where we shine the spotlight on the unsung heroes among us.
Today, we're not just launching a program. We're igniting a revolution of skills, dreams, and hope.
On Volunteers TV, we highlight and celebrate people and groups that are great examples to us all.
Every single region in Ghana, we're doing something.
Good.
So no one's being left behind.
Over 800 kids that come to school, so having an extra classroom, extra resources will be really, really beneficial.
If you're a volunteer, you're actually serving because you are giving up your time and resources for nothing in return.
Volunteers TV, Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Jude Duncan. Just gone by David Kwekusechi running us through the biggest Christmas party to hit the capital on Christmas Eve happening at the Good Park. I'm referring to the Situation All-White Party. A big thank you to Hallmark Cafe, of course, EcoBank, Bethel Logistics, and also Oswald Construction Limited for supporting this really, really great program happening later this month. Elmint.
Mr. Duncan.
Charlie.
Mr. Duncan.
No, everything cool.
Real Duncan. Yeah.
Yesterday, Arsenal, them days, they've been dazed.
It didn't work out for them. It
was a very painful circumstance because the last kick of the game, that can break you.
Yeah, it definitely can. Emiliano Buendia getting that goal off a scramble in the box. And it wasn't your usual Arsenal because a team that is built on defense, to concede that kind of goal, it was quite shocking. It was quite poor because normally you associate failure to clear a ball inside the box with Man United. For some strange reason, they have issues all the time. When the ball is just swung into the box, there's chaos everywhere. But Arsenal, they tend to do a very good job clearing their lines. But yesterday, it didn't happen. And yes, you can relate it to or link it directly to the absence of William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, their regular starters, centre-back pairing, and who are among the best of the best in the world. And so if you miss both, not just one, if you miss both, it's definitely going to cause some issues.
I felt Hincapie and what was the other one? Mosquera. Who's also now injured. They did a good job against Chelsea. So now
they did a very good job.
The backline has changed a lot in the last month. So do you feel like it affected their defensive shape?
Yeah, it affected them. I mean, look, no matter how good you are as a team, and Arsenal are a very good team, they have a lot of quality in depth. But once your best centre-backs are not playing...
Who did Hincapie pair yesterday with?
It was Ben White.
Centre-back.
The centre-back pair, Ben White. And Jurien Timber was on the right, and Calafiori was on the left. And so, it's still a very good unit, brilliant unit. But at the end of the day, how many times have Ben White and Hincapie played together? And so there's always going to be an issue. And on top of that, let's be honest, none of those guys is William Saliba, who is the best of the best. So there's always going to be some kind of a drop-off. And we saw that happen because it was uncharacteristic. It was very uncharacteristic.
We'll delve into other issues too, but I've seen a lot of complaints around how just maybe Odegaard and Eze don't seem to be able to play together.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, because if you play Odegaard, and it means that you have to push Eze to the wings because you can't have him and Declan Rice and Zubimendi in the same unit at the same time. So someone has to go either to the bench or you'll be able to shift Eberechi Eze out to the wings because he's versatile. But his best position is through the middle. And so there's a bit of an issue there. But in that sense, that's where I question Arteta because if you're having an issue managing Odegaard and Eberechi Eze, then are you really ready to take that next step as a coach? Because he is tagged as the next in line to succeed Pep Guardiola at Man City. Or
who? Arteta?
Yes, Mikel Arteta. He was Pep Guardiola's assistant. One of Pep Guardiola's assistants.
I don't think Arsenal, the Man City job is a trophy job. If he wins at Arsenal, Arsenal is Charlie London. The pride of,
That's one. And there's also the Barca thing. Because he's a Barcelona product. He played at the Barcelona Academy. Exactly. Yeah. So if you are linked to such big jobs and you are having issues dealing with or managing this situation, then there's a big question mark. It's early days yet. I don't want to condemn him yet. But he should be able to be decisive. Because all the greats, they had this issue.
Of managing talent.
Yes. In the prime years of Man United, say Alex Ferguson, the 1999-98 season, he had as many as 4 or 5 forwards. He still managed it. At some point, he had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Dwight York, Andy Cole, and Teddy Sheringham. All of them playing.
Give me an analysis. So
you have to be able to manage it. Your team, Chelsea, prime Mourinho, didn't he have a glut of talent all the time? But he managed it. Because at the end of the day, you are lucky enough, you are playing, how many? 4 competitions. Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. So if you have a big squad, it aids you. So you should be able to spread it out to cover all the competitions for you to be able to play and field a very good team. So if you're having issues dealing with Odegaard and Eberechi Eze, I find it a bit odd. Like I said, it's early days yet. I hope he makes a decisive move moving forward. And I hope he does because if he's not able to fix it...
What would a decisive move look like?
What would a decisive look like? Go with the guy who is giving you the best results of production.
Who is that?
At this point, it is Eze.
So he should bench his captain?
Yes, he should bench his captain. Because at the end of the day, the captain hasn't necessarily been available for the most part this season.
So pragmatism over...
Yes.
Style.
And on top of that, that is what Mikel Arteta has become known for. Pragmatism. Pragmatic style. So, honestly, I'm a bit surprised that he's, having a difficult time handling this issue. Well, like I said, it's early days yet. I want to give him some bit of grace. I hope he takes a decisive move.
1 point from a possible 6. Where does this leave us now?
Yes, it leaves us now in a position where now they just lead Manchester City, who are in second place, by just 2 points. And what that means is it increases the pressure on Arsenal and it brings about further doubts and question marks that can they hold off Chelsea? No, can they hold off Man City? Can they hold off Aston Villa? Because now Aston Villa are third and they are just 3 points off Arsenal. So it's not just Man City that you are dealing with. You are dealing with Aston Villa. And with Aston Villa, there's always a bit of history once Unai Emery is there. Because he was the head coach of Arsenal before Arteta took over. Yeah. And he feels that he wasn't given enough time. Yeah. In his first season, he took Arsenal to the Europa League final.
Beaten by Chelsea 4-1.
Yes. And the following season, he got sacked midway. So he feels a bit aggrieved. So every time he's playing against Arsenal, anything to prevent Arsenal from more or less winning the big one, which is the Premier League.
Yeah, he did it last
2 seasons. Yeah, he will do it. And so it's not just Man City that Arsenal should be thinking of. Aston Villa is another that Man City, Arsenal should be thinking of.
But this game was at the Villa Park, right?
Yeah, this game was at the Villa Park. And they'll face each other at the Emirates before the year ends, the calendar year ends.
Is it a Premier League game?
Yes, it's a Premier League game because the Premier League would be...
We're halfway.
Yeah, we'll be halfway then. So...
But it's coming early for them.
Yeah, it's coming pretty early for them.
Oh, so we're already halfway at the Premier League?
No, not already halfway. We have some games to be played
before
we get to the halfway mark. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And so for me, Arteta should make a decisive move because I'll make this point quickly before we move on to the next one. Because yesterday's game, he started with Eberechi Eze on the wings, and he played Martin Odegaard through the middle. Okay. Now, what that did was it prevented Arsenal from getting quality production from either wings because Bukayo Saka was doing his thing. But as soon as they came out of the halftime break, he took off Eze and he introduced Leandro Trossard. 10 minutes later, Trossard got the equalizer.
So it means that Trossard was more effective on the wings.
Yes, because
whereas Eze would have been in the middle.
But because he had to accommodate Martin Odegaard, so he had to bench Leandro Trossard. He had to bench Martinelli.
Was Odegaard removed from the game at the point?
Not. Yeah, at some point. Yeah, he got removed at some point.
And who came in?
I think it was no. I think he played. He played throughout. Yeah, he played throughout. It was Merino who got substituted for Gyökeres. Yes.
Wow. We'll see how this goes for us now. But are there any other games you'd want to just briefly touch on?
Yeah. Chelsea drew goalless. With
Semenyo had a goal
AFC
ruled off, right?
Yeah. He got the goals, but he got chopped off because Evan Nelson was in an offside position. So VAR reviewed it, and he was in an offside position, so they chopped it off. And it wasn't the best of games, to be honest. Chelsea, Bournemouth, a lot of action in midfield, but not too much quality. And even Enzo Maresca, the head coach of Chelsea, alluded to it that they lacked a lot of quality in the final third. And I think the biggest talking point from that game was that Cole Palmer returned and he played in that game. And so, after 2 months out due to injury, it was good to see him back on the pitch. And like I said, it wasn't too much of a quality game. So not too much to talk about that from that particular game. Then there were other games in there. Newcastle beating Burnley by 2-1. Yes, Liverpool.
I watched that game.
They drew 3-3 with
threw
Leeds
away
United.
a 2-goal lead.
Threw away 2-goal lead.
And later threw away a 1-goal lead.
Yeah. Ibrahima Konate, that tackle, that penalty, it changed everything.
Nonto, is it Gonto?
Yeah, Nonto. Yeah, Nonto. He's of Ivorian descent, but he plays for Italy. That penalty, it really changed everything. It really changed everything. But I must say, that third goal that Liverpool scored, that midfield combo, it was brilliant. It was classic Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp and the first season of Arne Slot. It was just open them up. Simple passing, 1-2, quick movement, and that move by Alexis McAllister.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. He allowed the ball to roll over. He was the one who was targeted with a pass, and he made his move to meet the ball, and rather he just let the ball roll through his legs. And Szoboszlai was just right in behind him. He just tugged it out. It was a brilliant move.
There's so much talk about Liverpool, right? Because even after the game, there's like a complete meltdown.
Yes.
From Mo Salah.
Everyone forgot about this game. Like, this game was trashed. The biggest talking point was that Mo Salah was benched again. He was an unused sub. And he granted an interview after the game.
We'll come to Mo Salah. I just want to spend a little more time on the tactical display on the night. Ekitike.
Yeah.
Will you say he's the guy and not Isak, and that Slot should just keep him as the arrowhead for the team?
Well,
2 quick fire goals.
2 quick fire goals. Yeah, brilliant. I think the thing is, you have to look at the thought process that led to the signing of Ekitike and Alexander Isak. It's simple. They want to have their new version of Roberto Firmino, Mohamed Salah, and Sadio Mane. And so, in this case, Florian Wirtz was signed, Ekitike was signed, and then Alexander Isak was also signed. And so, those three can play together. Because you always have Florian Wirtz being the one dropping a bit deeper or playing a bit deeper than with those two up ahead. It's workable.
As 2 forwards.
Yes, it's workable because both are versatile enough to play or to coexist together. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Look, if you have intelligent players who are talented, you can play pretty much with any formation. That's how come Ancelotti will jumble as many attacking players as possible in just one starting lineup. But for some strange reason, they'll find a way to win because if you have intelligent players who are talented, they will work it out. They will figure it out. And so, mainly saying, oh, one should be dropped for the other, I don't necessarily think so. Those two guys can play together. It's all about finding the right balance. And when you play those two together, that means that this guy, Mohamed Salah, has to be benched. And we're seeing it. We are seeing it happen in real time. And unfortunately for Mo Salah, yeah, he's pissed. And yeah, he delivered the biggest talking point
what did
from
he
the
say?
world of football yesterday. Well, he says he's being scapegoated, more or less, and that the team has thrown him under the bus, and that he deserves to be a starter in this team, and that he's worked hard for it. And so he doesn't understand why he's getting benched. And the past 2 games, prior to their game against Leeds United, he was benched, but he came off the bench and he played. Last night's game, he didn't play. He was an unused sub. And Anslot was asked why he was an unused sub. And he said that the time that he planned to introduce Mo Salah into the game, Liverpool were leading by 2-0. And so, in that sense, you need to protect the lead. And so he rather go in for Wataru Endo, which he did. And so
I think Enzo came in a game when it was, I think, 2-1.
Yeah, around that time. Because you needed to protect your lead. You needed to protect your lead. And so, yeah, that was his explanation. Unfortunately, Mo Salah wasn't having it. Like, he wasn't having it. I mean, the guy doesn't talk much, but when he talks, it is a big deal. And what the interview ran for like almost 6-7 minutes. And
he was bringing in Harry Kane and Jamie Carragher and everybody.
He was blasting everybody. He was delivering fire to everybody.
What did he say about Carragher? Do you remember?
Like that he will mention his name in his analysis, and that he always wants Mo Salah to come and speak, and that he should step up. He doesn't want a situation where they will lose a game or drop points, and it is Curtis Jones who's rather doing the post-game interviews. That's Jamie Carragher's problem. That he wants Mo Salah to step up. Because you are one of the big leaders in the team. And we've seen Virgil van Dijk do post-game interviews, have clashes with Wayne Rooney over his comments on his podcast. But you don't hear anything about Mo Salah. Mo Salah doesn't say anything. And so that was one of...
Because when the team wins, Salah takes the credit.
Yeah. And
so when you lose, you should take the fall as well.
Yes. And he gets interviewed when they win. After a game, we've seen post-game interviews where Mo Salah is interviewed and all. But since they are slide, we haven't seen Mo Salah. And so that was one of Jamie Carragher's gripes with him. That, yes, you are not performing well. But at the same time, you are the leader. And so if we go in there and we get a bad result, you should be able to come out and take the fall.
And I read that he criticized the way the media handles his performances, because he was like, if Kane goes a 10-game drought, Harry Kane, when he was in Tottenham, goes a 10-game drought, he doesn't get spoken of as much as the way they speak about him, Salah, right? Do you think it was a fair comparison?
I don't think so, because look, one of the things that have emerged when it comes to the EPL coverage, and was that Mo Salah was one of those guys that you couldn't criticize too much. He's one of those guys that you can't criticize too much.
Because he was quite efficient.
Yeah, because he was quite efficient. And so for Mo Salah to say that, I thought that it was a bit of a stretch, because you've been more or less protected, if I can put it that way, to an extent, to a large extent. Remember, Sadio Mane will be playing so well, and he'll be taken off. But Mo Salah will be playing poorly, and he will still be kept on. And it was one of the reasons why Sadio Mane and Mo Salah fell out. And they didn't have a proper top-level relationship. And it was one of the reasons why Sadio Mane left. Because no matter what he did, it was Salah taking the credit. So for Salah to make that comment, I think that was a bit of a stretch, because he has been protected by the media. He has been protected by the media in past years, because there were so many instances where Mo Salah wasn't dropping deep to help out defensively. Mo Salah was giving the ball away. Mo Salah wasn't playing well, but he'll get a goal, and it will more or less gloss over all the poor performance that he's delivered. And so in that sense, I think Mo Salah, that was a bit of a stretch. Look, he has been protected, given a fair share or fair amount of protection by the media. So that bit, I don't agree with him. So for me, I think he was a bit off on that tangent. And so, I don't agree with him.
Wow. incredible fallout.
But look, I think this thing boils down to last 2 seasons, and I remember making this point, and a lot of people came at me for it, that Liverpool should move on from Mo Salah, because at that time the Saudi Arabia clubs were ready to pay as much as 100 million pounds.
2 seasons ago, look at his performance last season.
Yes.
On the face of it, you couldn't have said that would have been a prudent decision should Salah have left Liverpool last season.
Yeah.
He was literally their man.
Yeah.
So
true. But at the end of the day, that was the reason why the American owners of Liverpool were hesitant to give him the new contract extension, because they are American sports owners. They own sports franchises in the American sports leagues. And those guys, the operation system is simple. Move a player or an athlete a year before he goes bad. That has always been their operating system. And we're seeing it. You could tell that the fall was coming, or the drop-off was coming when it comes to Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah. And that's why those two guys, they were hesitant to give them those improved contracts, £400,000 a week contract, because they could see that these guys are not who they used to be. Do we really want to commit this amount of money to them? That's why they were very hesitant. And it took such a long time before they eventually gave them that kind of contract. And so you could tell that they knew it was coming. But because everyone was on their neck, oh, you can't treat a living legend like Mo Salah like that. You can't do this to Virgil van Dijk. You can't do that. You can't do that. And so they bowed to the pressure and they gave them those contracts. And in the end, now they have a huge albatross around their neck. If you play Mo Salah, your team is deficient defensively. And offensively, he's not scoring as he used to. So what's the point? If you're not giving me defensive solidity and you're not giving me efficiency in front of goal, then you are a weakness. Look at Virgil van Dijk. He's also doing the same. So what's the point? And right now, they are stuck. And for me, they should move on from him as soon as they can. They should move on, because he still has incredible value. A Saudi team or one of those teams in the Gulf region is likely to sign him because he's an icon. And so, he still has a tremendous value. And Liverpool can recoup some solid money. Yeah, a pull factor. Liverpool can recoup some serious money from a potential sale. So, I think it will work out for the betterment of the team, because at this point, things are very, very rough.
So he doesn't come back into this team?
Yeah, I don't see a future with him in the team, because I don't see Liverpool sacking Arne Slot now. And they want to grow with him for a while. Mo Salah is not the future of Liverpool. Right now, their future of Liverpool is hinged on this guy, Ekitike, and Florian Wirtz, and Ryan Gravenberch. Those are the future, those guys. And they are likely to sign another young defender in January. So those guys are the ones that they are looking out for. Leone, the defender they signed from Italy, he came in and unfortunately suffered an ACL injury. Those are the guys that they are looking to, Jeremy Frimpong and co. Not Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. So if he's pulling out this kind of tantrum, they'll move on from him.
What's the other big story in the world of sports?
The world of sports, it doesn't get any bigger than Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi has won the MLS Cup. He's won the MLS Cup. And he's further dampened all those doubts regarding his claim to greatness, his claim as the greatest player of all time. Because back in the day, the knock on Messi was that, all that he's achieved, he did it at Barcelona. And that he can't achieve it outside Barcelona. Unlike his contemporary, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Because Ronaldo did it at Man United, he went to Real Madrid, he won league titles there. He went to Italy, he won league titles there. And Messi hasn't been able to do it up until now. Now, Messi has won in Spain. He went to PSG in France, he won there.
What did he win? The league?
He won the league.
But he didn't win Champions League.
He didn't win the Champions League, but he won the league.
He has to win Champions League.
But he won the league.
But Dembele won the Champions League for them.
PSG, but recently.
Even if it was yesterday, he has won it for them.
Yeah, he's won it for them, but Messi didn't win it. But at the end of the day, he won the league title.
There was Champions League. Anybody can talk and win.
He won the league title, and he won, I believe, the French Cup, the Coupe de France. And now he's gone to the MLS, and he's won Inter Miami's first ever MLS Cup. Prior to Messi going to Inter Miami.
This is a cup competition, not a league.
This is a league.
This is a league.
This is a league. MLS cup title. Yes, that's the league. Prior to Messi going to Inter Miami, they hadn't even been to the Eastern Conference Finals. You know they split it into two different conferences. And he got them to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They beat New York City FC, which is also an affiliate of Manchester City, one of their sub teams. They beat them in the final, 5-1, and they qualified to the MLS Cup final. And they beat Vancouver Whitecaps. That's where Thomas Muller plays now, formerly of Bayern Munich. That's where he plays now, Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, I know Vancouver. I know Vancouver Whitecaps.
You're Canadian right now. Okay,
I'm one of their supporters actually.
Exactly. So that's where Thomas Muller plays now. Yeah. They beat Vancouver Whitecaps by 3-1 in the final. And yes, got Messi to win the MLS Cup. And he got 2 assists in that game. And what that means is that he's built on his assist numbers. Now, he has the most assists of all time in football. He had 405 assists ahead of Ferenc Puskas, who had 404.
Oh, so he has
improved on his counts.
Numbers.
Yeah, on his numbers. So that was in the lead up to this final. And last night, he got 2 more assists. So he's now on 407 assists in his career.
What's Ronaldo on?
Ronaldo's around 380, 300.
But to be fair, Ronaldo is also winning. I know when Messi wins, it brings back the whole Ronaldo.
Yeah, but Ronaldo hasn't won in Saudi Arabia, so he hasn't won anything in Saudi Arabia.
I saw some cup sometime.
World Cup. He wasn't in a better cup. He hasn't won anything in Saudi Arabia for Al
Ronaldo wins. It's not a better cup.
It's not a better cup. He hasn't won anything for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. No, he hasn't won anything. So yeah, for me, Messi, the greatest of all time. Even without he winning the World Cup and the MLS Cup, all these ones, for me, he was the greatest. He was the greatest. But now that he's won it, it silenced the doubters. And so it was a good run for Messi. It was a good run for Inter Miami. David Beckham, everything that he touches turns to gold. Anything to look out for today? Yeah, anything to look out for today. Not too many big games out there. I mean, the biggest talking point is still the ramifications of Mo Salah's rants against Liverpool. And but we have to still talk about the World Cup. The World Cup is still big, I must say. The World Cup is still big. Yes, the schedule has been released. Ghana, where we'll be playing our games, has also been released. So our first game against Panama, we'll be playing it in Toronto, in Canada. Our second game against England, we'll be played in Boston. And our last game against Croatia, we'll be played in Philadelphia. So we won't play any group games in Mexico. Our group games will be played in Canada and in the United States of America.
It's definitely going to be an expensive World Cup to cover.
Oh, yeah, because you'll be traveling across 3 countries, it'll be all over the place. And so, it will be very expensive. But, that's the lowdown on the Black Stars. And
so first game against Panama. Second game against England.
So first game is against Panama is on June 17. Second game against England is on June 23. And the final game against Croatia is on June 27. So mark it on your calendar.
So only 1 game in Canada, 2 in the US.
2 in the US. No group stage game in Mexico. So maybe if we qualify beyond the group stage, then that's when there's a potential to be moved over to one of the Mexican cities to play a game there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Welcome.
Mint.
Oh, Mr. Duncan.
Always a pleasure having you. And guys, that's all time will allow us for today's edition of Sunday Breakfast. It was an absolute pleasure coming your way this week. And thank you so much for doing the watching. Catch you same time next week. Bye-bye and be good.